I travel from one world to another doing wholesale sales, and you call this the end of the world? This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126 Sniper. Are you sure it's this? Su-wei looked at the quiet manor with a suspicious look on his face. It didn't look like there were any living people. Yes, the source of the smell is in here. I can smell it. It's very fresh. Zhang Bao shrugged his upturned nose and patted his chest to assure. Boss, at this time, Wei Jun quietly came back with a piece of rag in his hand. This is, Su-wei's pupils shrank. It was a fragment of camouflage combat uniform. I don't know about other places, but in this area, it is definitely a unique material of the Phaeton base. It can't be a coincidence. Wu Nan, here, leave a few people behind, and the others will prepare to attack. Yes, boss. After that, everyone began to check the equipment. Zhang Bao, are you interested in cooperating? Don't worry, I won't treat you unfairly. Su-wei came to Zhang Bao and asked in a low voice. The area of the manor is not small. If Zhang Bao joins, the search will definitely be twice as effective with half the effort. Okay. But I have a request. After thinking for a moment, Zhang Bao nodded and agreed. You say, Su-wei continued. Your people have to protect his safety. Zhang Bao pointed at Qi Laosi. No problem. Su-wei glanced at Qi Laosi, then nodded in agreement. It was hard to tell that Zhang Bao cared about him so much. So the way he beat him up so hard before must have been an illusion, just to prevent Su-wei and the others from taking action. Fourth brother, I'll go in with him. You stay here and don't run around. Wait until I come back. Before leaving, Zhang Bao whispered to Qi Laosi. Brother-in-law, they are going to look for someone. Why are you following them and getting involved? Qi Laosi grabbed Zhang Bao with an anxious look on his face. You know shit. Forget it, just wait for me to come back. With them here, you don't have to be afraid. Zhang Bao's face turned grim, frightening Qi Laosi so much that he trembled. Zhang Bao had to slow down his tone again and pointed at the 4 Special Forces members who stayed behind. Well, then you should be careful, Qi Laosi replied weakly. Got it. Let's go. Zhang Bao's eyes were slightly hot, and he turned and left quickly. Wei Jun led several special forces to open the way. Yu Na, Su-wei, Zhang Bao in the middle, Wu Nan led the others to cover the back, and quietly moved towards the manor in front of them. Wei Jun quietly approached the zombies wandering in front, suddenly jumped up, and twisted the zombie's head off directly. Then he gently put the zombie's body into the grass, and then moved to the next zombie. Everyone was sprayed with a hidden smell potion, which can cover the smell of living people. For a certain period of time, the zombies cannot sense them through their sense of smell. Wei Jun's ability is to silence, which can make no sound while moving. Combined with the hidden smell potion, it is simply a zombie nemesis. Seeing this, Zhang Bao's eyes were even more shocked. I have heard that Phaeton is very strong, but I didn't expect it to reach this level. The worst ones are all level 8 enhancers, and they all have complete sets of equipment. And there are those annoying potions. Wouldn't it be better if you have more herbs and add more strengthening potions? It seems that they don't lack strengthening potions. It's true that people will die if they compare themselves with others, and goods will be thrown away if they are compared with others. At this moment, Zhang Bao couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. In comparison, the proud leader of the Sans Dog Gang suddenly didn't have that taste. After passing the periphery, everyone entered the interior of the manor and suddenly felt a dark place in front of them. Wei Jun and others stopped and looked around at the messy layout. Old Zhang, Su-wei cast a questioning look at Zhang Bao in a familiar manner. Over there, Zhang Bao rolled his eyes at Su-wei's address, but still raised his hand and pointed in a direction. I called you Boss Su after all, shouldn't you return the favor and call me Boss Zhang? According to Zhang Bao's guidance, everyone came to a building in the center of the manor. This place is relatively well preserved, with complete doors and windows, and no signs of zombies or mutants. It's inside, Zhang Bao said confidently. The smell here, which is still hot, must have just been emitted. Yu Na, who was beside Su-wei, made a gesture, and Wu Nan immediately led people to surround them. After receiving the gesture, Wei Jun slowly sneaked towards the small building. Bang! Suddenly, a gunshot rang out from the small building, and a special sniper bullet shot at Wei Jun like lightning. Fuck, the bullet arrived in the blink of an eye, scaring Wei Jun to death. But the hard training in the past days finally paid off, and his body instinctively turned to the side. Barely avoiding the vital parts, the bullet hit the arm, and a ball of blood burst out. Bang! Another gunshot rang out, but this time it was not from the small building, but behind Wei Jun. It was Su Wei who immediately locked the sniper's position and fired back. However, due to the rush of time and the opponent hiding behind the bunker, he did not hit the target. But they also successfully suppressed the opponent's sniper. "Quick, save people," Su Wei shouted after locking the opponent through the scope. Wu Nan was the first to rush up, and his supernatural power, Swift Shadow, was activated. The whole person turned into a shadow, and rushed to Wei Jun in a blink of an eye, pulled him up and rushed back. With one person, Wu Nan's speed dropped significantly. Bang! The opponent's sniper fired another shot, but with the threat of Su Wei, he didn't have enough time to aim, and the bullet deviated a little and fell half a meter away from the two. Bang! Su Wei also fired a shot, hitting the opponent's bunker, splashing a piece of concrete, and frightened the opponent so much that he dared not show his head. After a few breaths, Wu Nan had already taken Wei Jun behind the bunker. Wei Jun quickly took out a healing potion and drank it, while Wu Nan quickly bandaged his wound. Bang! 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 Suddenly, several guns stretched out from the windows on the second floor of the small building and fired at the place where Su Wei was. "Hide!" Su Wei immediately waved everyone away, but he lay there motionless. This scared Zhang Bao half to death. Is this kid looking for death? But soon he found something unusual. There was a light blue light shield in front of Su Wei, looming in the bushes. If it wasn't close, it would be hard to see clearly. The bullets hit it and caused ripples, but they couldn't penetrate. Damn, high-tech. The force field shield instantly blinded Zhang Bao's titanium alloy dog eyes. At this time, Su Wei stared at the sight and saw that the sniper on the roof of the small building began to move slowly and tried to raise his head several times. After finding that there was no movement, he became bolder and stretched out his sniper rifle to search for the enemy. But when his vision swept across the area suppressed by firepower, a sense of crisis came over him. Bang! With a gunshot, a bullet instantly shot through his sight, plunged into his terrified eyes, and then shot out from the back of his head. With a puff, a large ball of red and white things was brought out and sprinkled on a low wall behind him. The sniper was killed, and the fire from the second floor stopped briefly, but then it started to fire again. However, Su Wei had already moved successfully. Shoot! Without the threat of the sniper, Yuna immediately ordered an attack. The special forces raised their guns and fired at the second floor, forcing the enemy to retreat. In the melee, Su Wei's scope was locked on a corner of the second floor window. Bang! With a gunshot, the unlucky guy who showed his head was immediately shot in the head. The headless body fell from the second floor like a broken sack, deader than dead. The gunshots from the second floor stopped immediately. Chapter 127 Hit. Put down your guns, otherwise, don't blame me for killing people. Suddenly, a woman shouted loudly. Stop shooting. Su Wei, who was looking for a target, hurriedly called for a stop. The people in the hooding immediately turned off the guns. Then the door on the first floor was opened from the inside, and Ji Tongguang and others came out, followed by 7 or 8 people in strange costumes, but they all used 4 people to cover their vital parts, obviously not giving Su Wei a chance to snipe. Ji Tongguang and the other 4 were all gagged and had wounds of varying degrees. The worst were the 2 Special Forces members, whose hands were bound by the mutant beast tendons, and their bodies were beaten to pieces, even their faces were disfigured. Fortunately, there were no fatal injuries. With a crash, the Special Forces members immediately stood up and surrounded them in front of the building. Who are you? Why are you arresting my people? Su Wei carried the sniper diagonally on his shoulder and walked out of his hiding place with a step that showed no regard for his relatives. Are you there, boss? Su Wei? As the voice was spoken, a charming woman came forward, staring at Su Wei with a pair of peach blossom eyes, and looked at him carefully. She was very interested in him. She was wearing a green gauze skirt, stockings, long boots, and a dark green thin long windbreaker. It was both sexy and fashionable. This kind of dress was really rare in the wasteland world. At least the heavy makeup on her face was not something that ordinary people could afford. Oh, do you know me? Su Wei was slightly stunned. From the tone of the other party, it seemed that she was coming to him. I don't know, but an old friend wants to see you. As she said that, the woman waved her hands casually and smiled very charmingly. Old friend, Su Wei was stunned. Su Wei, long time no see. At this time, a man stood up after hearing the voice, took off the mask on his face, and revealed a big square face. Oh, who are you? Long time no see. Have we met? Su Wei looked at the other party's unfamiliar face with a confused look. Puchy, someone couldn't help laughing out loud. This made the man on the other side angry. His brother died because of Phaeton, and his base died because of Phaeton. The other party didn't even know who he was. It was too much of a bully. Are you Zhao Hu? The second in command of the former Rolling Stone base, Yuna on the side asked suspiciously. Finally someone remembered. Zhao Hu seemed to feel a little relieved, showing a mouthful of yellow teeth and sneered twice. Humph, are they the reinforcements you brought? You underestimate me, Su Wei. Su Wei also snorted coldly. How much trouble can they cause with just a few people? Boss Su, this day next year will be your death anniversary. Although he was not in a numerical advantage, Zhao Hu looked arrogant and fearless. No. This smell is poisonous. At this moment, Zhang Bao, who was beside Su Wei, suddenly changed his face, but before he finished speaking, he fell to the ground and lost consciousness. The woman looked at Zhang Bao in surprise, but her hands were not slow. She waved her hands, and a cloud of light purple smoke visible to the naked eye burst out from her body in an instant, covering everyone. Zhao Hu was terrified, and hurriedly pulled up the mask and covered it with both hands. Cough cough, cough in an instant. The special forces fell one after another. Brother Su Wei, among them, Yuna was the strongest. She had some resistance to the purple smoke, but she also felt dizzy. So she tried her best, pounced, and knocked Su Wei out with her shoulder. In fact, when Zhang Bao shouted, Su Wei was closest to him. Hearing the word poison, he subconsciously held his breath, but the moment he was enveloped by the purple smoke, he still felt dizzy. Then he was hit and flew out of the range of the purple smoke, and the dizziness was relieved a lot. But after landing, he still felt a little heavy in the head. Catch him, the woman's voice came from the purple mist. 5 or 6 big men led by Zhao Hu rushed out of the purple mist and chased after Su Wei. Fuck, Su Wei shook his head vigorously, forcing himself to be more awake, and then retreated violently. Zhao Hu and his men were also fast, catching up like a maggot on the heel. Crash! Seeing that they were about to fight, Su Wei exerted force on his feet and crashed directly into a ruin that had not completely collapsed. At the moment when the dust blocked his vision, he activated the teleportation. Su Wei's figure suddenly disappeared in the ruins. Huh? Where did he go? When Zhao Hu and his men broke into the ruins, Su Wei was no longer there. The few people were unwilling to give up, and frantically searched around, but unfortunately Su Wei seemed to have disappeared out of thin air. As a result, naturally, nothing was found. Woo! It was not until a low whistle was heard that the few people turned back unwillingly. Where is he? The woman saw that the few people returned empty-handed, and her face suddenly turned cold. Sister Fox, that guy is very evil. When we were halfway chasing him, he suddenly disappeared, Zhao Hu said with a frustrated look on his face. Humph, trash, the woman called Sister Fox cursed. Zhao Hu and others hung their heads and dared not breathe. Take them with you and leave, it's not safe here anymore. Sister Fox pointed at Ji Tongguang, Liu Hongxi and Yuna, and then pointed at Zhang Bao. Zhao Hu and his men immediately stepped forward, tied up the 4 people and carried them on their shoulders, and then evacuated. Soon, the building was empty, leaving only the Special Forces team members snoring. It was said that Su Wei was teleported back to the Jinxiu garden hut, lying on the ground and unable to get up. The deep sleepiness made him want to sleep for 3 days and 3 nights. But when he thought of Yuna and others, he was immediately anxious again. He struggled to walk into the bathroom and turned on the shower. The cold water instantly soaked Su Wei's hair and clothes. He kept showering for more than 10 minutes before he felt better. Without taking a break, Su Wei changed into a set of clothes and went straight to the pharmacy downstairs. Masks, masks. Is N95 okay? After buying a bunch of masks, Su Wei felt unsafe, so he drove to the nearest labor insurance store and bought all the gas masks in the store. Back in the cabin, Su Wei put on a gas mask first, and then teleported to the wasteland world. When he got out of the ruins, Yuna and others were gone. Wei Jun and others didn't respond no matter how they called. Just then, there was a trampling sound behind him. Su Wei looked back and saw hundreds of soldiers in camouflage combat uniforms rushing in. Boss, Su Xiaodong, who was at the front, called out tentatively. Wearing a gas mask. He didn't recognize the person, but recognized the modified sniper. Dongzi, how many of you are here? Su Wei hurried over and asked. Report, boss. More than 300 people, Su Xiaodong replied hurriedly. Although his voice was a little dull with a gas mask on, it was undoubtedly the boss's voice. Did you meet a woman in a dark green windbreaker on the way here? Su Wei continued to ask. No, Su Xiaodong replied. At this moment, Su Wei's mind was particularly clear. Going north is the urban area of Jingquan, the den of zombies. Going there is seeking death. And Su Xiaodong and his men came from the south. So the enemy only had two directions to escape, east and west. Su Wei came back on time, no more than 2 hours before and after, so the enemy should not be far away. Lale, here, take 100 brothers to chase east. Yes, boss. Dongzi, here, take 100 brothers and follow me to chase west. Yes, boss. The rest of you take care of the poisoned brothers and escort them back to the base. Yes, boss. Chapter 128 Rescue. Before leaving, Su Wei found a corner and took out the gas masks and distributed them to everyone. He also reminded everyone that the woman could release poison, and they must pay attention to the safe distance. If conditions permit, they will be shot remotely. Hearing that the enemy not only captured Minister Ji, but also Minister Yu, the soldiers of the armed forces were immediately furious. Yuna is the little princess of their armed forces. If they dare to touch her, the armed forces will swear to cut the enemy into pieces. After a short reorganization, the two teams responsible for tracking began to set off. The rest of the people were responsible for transferring the wounded. In order to speed up, Su Wei took Su Xiaodong and several special warfare elites to move at full speed. In a blink of an eye, more than an hour passed, and they went out 50 or 60 kilometers, but no trace of the enemy was found. Is the direction wrong? Su Wei was anxious. Boss, the signal has been tracked. At this moment, a special warfare member shouted. On the screen projected by his smart bracelet, a red bright spot appeared, very close, less than 1 kilometer away. Is it you Na? Su Wei asked hurriedly. Yes, it's Minister Yu's signal, the special forces member answered immediately. The combatants of the Phaeton armed forces will carry a signal transmitter to ensure the position calibration during combat. However, this device is limited by the current materials and technology. The host can only receive the signal within 1 kilometer. Chase, without saying a word, several people chased in the direction of the red dot at a high speed. When Su Wei led people to catch up with Sister Fox and the others, they were resting by a small river in the forest. Most of the water in the wild cannot be drunk directly. It needs to be treated with special antidotes before it can be drunk. Now, Zhao Hu and others are busy replenishing drinking water. Sister Fox sat on the ground, leaning against a big tree and closed her eyes to rest. Yuna and others were still in a coma and were put aside and guarded by 2 men. In fact, they were guarding for nothing. Have you ever seen an unconscious person run away? Su Wei took out a sniper rifle, but did not aim directly at Sister Fox, but checked the surrounding environment. The perception of high-level evolvers is very sharp, and he does not want to alert the enemy for the time being. After making sure there was no ambush, Su Wei gestured to Su Xiaodong. The two of them moved quietly towards where Yuna and the others were. At this moment, the jungle was quiet. There was only the sound of Zhao Hu and others boiling water. Su Wei and Su Xiaodong tried to move as lightly as possible, and slowly crawled along with the surrounding noise. As the distance got closer, Su Wei could even hear the other party's voice. His nerves became more and more tense, and he felt that his back was soaked with sweat. Click! An unusual sound came from somewhere, and the guards and Sister Fox were startled and looked around. Su Wei almost couldn't help but take action. Gaga! A bird as big as an eagle flew into the sky, making a piercing scream. Then, the surroundings fell into peace again. Sister Fox closed her eyes and leaned back. The 2 guards also took a few steps back. One of the guards happened to pass by Su Xiaodong. His hiding made him almost transparent, and the guard didn't notice him at all. Now, Su Xiaodong suddenly jumped up, and the alloy dagger in his hand instantly stabbed the guard's neck. Bang! Su Wei also jumped up, and the modified sniper in his hand instantly exploded the head of another guard. Sister Fox was the first to react, and threw a purple mist ball at Su Wei and Su Xiaodong, who were rushing towards Yuna and others. With a bang, The purple mist ball exploded when it hit the ground, and the purple mist instantly spread, covering the two of them. Whoosh! Wearing a gas mask, I don't feel uncomfortable at all. Nice. Su Wei shot at Sister Fox with a sniper in his hand without saying a word. Seeing the bullet coming, Sister Fox was shocked, not knowing why her poison gas that worked all the time would fail. She tried her best to dodge, but was still hit by the bullet. The strong inertia directly knocked her away and fell into the river. The blood instantly dyed the river red. Sister Fox, kill them. Zhao Hu and others' eyes instantly turned red, and they picked up the guns at hand and shot at Su Wei. Bullets poured down like rain. Su Wei quickly opened the force field shield to protect Yuna and others. Bang bang bang. At this time, the special forces also rushed up, and the two sides entered a white-hot battle. Without Sister Fox, only Zhao Hu was left as a 3-star evolver. Su Wei and Su Xiaodong suppressed him. The remaining few were knocked down by the special forces, and those who wanted to run were shot in the head by Su Wei. When the large force arrived, Su Wei and others were already cleaning the battlefield. They captured Zhao Hu and 3 others, and killed 5 people. It's a pity that Sister Fox's body was not found. It is not known whether she was washed away by the river or escaped alive. Su Wei didn't care about this, and hurried back to the base with Yuna and others. But what is worrying is that after using a variety of antidotes, the poisoned people could not wake up and have been in a coma. After checking everyone's data in detail, Qin Lao could not find any abnormalities, and there was no sign of poisoning at all. This made Su Wei anxious, and he interrogated the captives overnight. After a round of interrogation, Zhao Hu refused to give in. But the other 2 soldiers were not so tough, and their mouths were soon pried open. It turned out that they came from a base called Demon Realm, and the leader called himself the Demon King, and his strength was unknown. The Rolling Stone base was actually a branch base they built here. After being destroyed by Phaeton, Zhao Hu ran back to his hometown to ask for help. He also told the Demon King that Su Wei had obtained a National Reserve warehouse, which could obtain a large amount of high-quality food. He asked the Demon King to send troops to attack Phaeton. The Demon King acted cautiously and did not completely believe it. But the National Reserve warehouse was too precious, so the Demon King sent his general, Black Fox, to spy on the military situation. Black Fox is a 5-star evolver, whose ability is to produce a sleep-inducing gas in his body. At low concentrations, it is colorless and odorless, making it difficult to guard against. Only special evolvers like Zhang Bao can tell the difference. Although Black Fox's hypnotic gas is not toxic, it is very overbearing. Even evolvers with higher levels than her will be caught in the trap and become lambs to be slaughtered if they are not prepared. Therefore, Black Fox's status in the demon realm is not low. This time, she happened to meet Ji Tongguang and others who were out, and they were also high-level people in the base. So Black Fox pretended to faint on the side of the road. Ji Tongguang and Liu Hongxi got out of the cart to check, and they were hit by her hypnotic gas. The 2 special forces members who accompanied them found the clues, but they were no match for 4 hands, and were eventually wiped out. Black Fox and his group hid in the manor for interrogation, wanting to know the detailed information of the base, but Ji Tongguang and others just wouldn't say it. There was still plenty of time, but they didn't want to meet an outlier like Zhang Bao, who took Su Wei and others to chase after them, and eventually failed. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129 Doubt. After making sure that Yuna and the others were fine, Su Wei finally let go of his worries. He couldn't help thinking with a sense of fun that if the Black Fox didn't die, he would definitely catch her, lock her up, collect the hypnotic gas she produced, and then bring her back to the modern world. Ladies and gentlemen, are you still worried about insomnia? Are you still depressed about not being able to sleep late at night? Black Fox brand sleeping spray, smell it and you will fall asleep. Sniff it, you won't get enough sleep. Don't miss it if you pass by. One bottle is only 9.9 yuan 9.9 yuan, you can't buy it at a loss, you can't buy it and you can't buy it. Use it first and pay later. No charge if it's ineffective. Su Wei even thought of the advertising slogan $, I am really a genius at brewing. After a whole day and night, Yuna and the others woke up one after another, without any discomfort, but full of energy. Once again, Su Wei's determination to capture the black fox was strengthened. Let me make it clear in advance that I am not holding a grudge, I just want to benefit all mankind. Brother Su Wei, I'm fine, go and do your own things. In the room, Yuna leaned on Su Wei's arms and said coquettishly. Are you really fine? No, I'd better check your body again to avoid any sequelae. Su Wei stretched out his two dirty hands. Ah. Bullying, bad brother, bullying. After a long time, Yuna was still lying in Su Wei's arms, but her face had a layer of red that could not be melted. Bad brother, Yuna gave Su Wei a coquettish look. Well, it's time to go back to sleep. Nana, give it to you. Su Wei smiled slightly and took out a fiery red crystal from his pocket. This is the fire beast's soul obtained after killing the three-headed dog of hell last time. Wow. Beast soul, and it's of the fire type. Thank you, brother. Yuna was immediately revived with full blood, took it with joy, and then kissed Su Wei on the face. Okay, you absorb slowly. I'm leaving first. Well, brother Su Wei, bye. Before Su Wei left, Yuna couldn't wait to enter the absorption state. It was hard to tell that this girl was a practiced madman. Su Wei quietly left the room and closed the door. Nana, are you okay? Walking into the hall, he met Song Dan, who was wearing an OL uniform, and asked with concern. Well, it's okay, Su Wei nodded. Oh, then I'll go see her. Seeing Su Wei's fiery eyes, Song Dan wanted to slip away immediately. No need, I gave her a piece of fire beast soul, and it's being absorbed now, Su Wei said, holding Song Dan's hand and walking into the inner room. Su Wei stayed at the Phaeton base for another day, mainly to deal with the aftermath. Fortunately, no one died this time, and the injured were well treated and would recover soon. As for the Sand Dog Gang, Su Wei originally planned to pay a sum of materials as a thank you, but Zhang Bao disagreed, and instead wanted to join the Phaeton shamelessly. After seeing the prosperity of Phaeton, he didn't want to go back to his doghouse. Then the only way is to join Phaeton and let Ironforge live a good life. Su Wei naturally welcomes this. Apart from other things, the metal of Ironforge and Zhang Bao's nose are all treasures. So, the Sand Dog Gang officially joined and became another branch base of Phaeton. Yes, I have to work hard to deal in supplies again. As for the engine, Wang Chengjiang got nothing. The main reason is that before the catastrophe, people had already eliminated thermal engines and adopted more advanced ion engines. Now, they should be called ion thrusters, which are the ones used on spacecraft, but much smaller. Combined with magnetic levitation technology, it is energy-saving and environmentally friendly and has a very long endurance. The hydrogen fuel engine used now is because of the instability of hydrogen fuel, and the materials of its engine and storage are very special, so it is impossible to move it back to modern use. If you want to produce qualified materials, it involves too many things. Therefore, Su Wei had to choose to give up temporarily and let them work on the electric motor first. After everything was settled, Su Wei drove away in the transport truck. However, there was still one thing in his mind that was unclear. When the Tyrannosaurus Rex attacked, everyone speculated that it was caused by the escape of the senior management of the Rolling Stone base. But now it is confirmed that Zhao Hu belongs to another powerful organization, the Demon Realm. So who brought the Tyrannosaurus Rex? Is there a traitor in the base? This idea made Su Wei very uneasy. So before leaving, he quietly told Yuna and Song Dan to investigate secretly without making a sound to see if they could find any clues. Back in modern times, Su Wei rushed to Zhuyi Group without stopping. The internet exploded directly in the past 2 days. First, the US stock market was turbulent, and I don't know how many people were killed. Secondly, in the face of accusations and sanctions from various countries, Zhuyi remained strong. Third, Zhuyi and Xinghuo jointly announced that they would work together to build a domestic magic car. Fourth, Zhuyi Electronics officially announced that the domestic 1nm chip was officially mass-produced and was first supplied to Huai's latest model, directly breaking the world-class ceiling. Zhuyi accounted for 3 of the top 5 hot searches in the world, and it was hard not to be famous. In addition, Xiaowei mobilized a large number of public relations companies to explain the truth of the matter, which immediately aroused a wave of support from the Chinese people. How could such a patriotic and awesome company not support it? Almost overnight, the shelves of Huai'o smartphones were cleared. Many international friends also joked, brothers from Xia country, Please show mercy and let us drink some soup. Of course, there must be good and bad. There are also a large number of black fans on the internet, who abused Zui group and accused it of being a show and exploiting the patriotism of the people. Among them, there are many Chinese people, who don't know whether they are water army or brain dead, but actually followed a foreign country to insult Zui, Huaiao, and Xinghu, saying that they were like ants trying to shake a tree and overestimating their own abilities, and even involved personal attacks. In response, the official Xia country used thundering means to investigate and deal with a large number of water army and ignorant anchors who deliberately insulted people. Indirectly showing the attitude, Zui group is not something that anyone can move if they want to. Sui didn't care about these, he just wanted to do what he wanted to do. Regardless of success or failure, regardless of merit or demerit. Sui came to the general manager's office. Xiaowei was directing people to replace the desks and office computers. Sister Wei. What's going on? Sui asked curiously. Come with me. Xiaowei saw Sui and pulled him into the lounge, not only locked it, but also secured it. Hey, Sister Wei, it's not good in the broad daylight, Sui teased Xiaowei, who looked anxious. Stinky brother, what are you thinking about? Xiaowei rolled her eyes at Sui unhappily. Oh, then why are you locking the door and pulling the curtains? What are you doing, Sister Wei? You know I won't resist. It was rare to see Xiaowei like this, and Sui couldn't help but tease her a little more. Once you miss this opportunity, you won't have that chance again. Bah, oh, I want to tell you something serious, don't be so frivolous. Xiaowei looked anxious and wanted to pinch him, but she didn't dare to do it. Oh, okay, I'll listen seriously, you go on. Seeing Xiaowei's anxiety, Sui quickly sat up straight and became serious. Chapter 130. Padding chest to guarantee. Xiaohu, I feel like something is wrong with my body. Xiaowei had a look of wanting to cry but no tears. Ah. I won the bid in one try. Oh yeah, that's great. It shouldn't be like this. It's only been a few days. Even if there won't be any reaction, right? Sui instantly lost his composure. Oh. Who told you it was that thing? Can't you just listen to me finish my words? Xiaowei covered her face with both hands. This damn guy was still joking at this time. Oh, no, sorry, I was a little excited, you say, looking at Xiaowei who was angry and embarrassed. Sui hurriedly sat back, put his hands on his knees honestly, and looked at his nose looked at his mouth, and his mouth looked at his heart. Xiaohu, I always accidentally broke things these 2 days. Just now, I accidentally broke the table leg, and the computer broke with it, and I always break the pen when I hold it. I feel that the strength is several times greater. Xiaowei looked worried. She didn't want to change from a delicate queen to a female man. Oh, what do you think? You don't have to worry about it at all. It's the effect of the strengthening potion, which makes your body more perfect. Increased strength is just one of them. Your memory, endurance, recovery ability, reaction ability, etc. will all increase. Sui finally understood what was going on after hearing this. He left in a hurry before and forgot to tell her the precautions. Oh, you said this is normal. Xiaowei almost vomited blood after hearing this. I have been frightened for 2 or 3 days, and you actually told me that this is normal. Well, don't worry about turning into a tomboy. On the contrary, it will make you more graceful. In addition, you can learn a trick from Sister Shengwen when you have time. That way, even if you encounter sudden danger, you can deal with it calmly. Of course, I hope you will never need to use it, Sui explained hurriedly. He naturally understood what Xiaowei was most worried about. I can handle both the living room and the kitchen, I can afford a nice car, I can afford a new house, I can fight against a mistress, and I can beat the gangster. Is that what you mean, stinky brother? According to that, I will be the benchmark of women in the new era in the future. Hearing that it would not affect her figure, Xiaowei immediately became full of blood, looking at Sui, and said with an intriguing face. Puff. Cough cough cough. Sui instantly felt like vomiting blood. Nima. What is all this? Stinky brother, are you sure there is no problem? At the end, Xiaowei was still a little worried. Don't worry, I can guarantee it 100%, Sui patted his chest and promised. But Xiaowei still looked skeptical. Are you serious when you swear and pat my chest? Why do I suddenly feel that this stinky brother can also be unreliable? It's a pity that I have already boarded the pirate ship, and I can only follow the chicken and the dog. After relieving Xiaowei's psychological shadow, the two returned to the office, and the workers had already changed the desk and left. The information department sent a brand new computer to be installed, but since Su Wei was there, everything was naturally done by him. Installing a computer, what's so difficult about it? Men love to reinstall the system the most, right? Don't ask what it means, those who understand will understand. So Su Wei rolled up his sleeves and got to work. Xiaowei was signing documents on the side, and from time to time she would come over to pour Su Wei a glass of water, or give him a small reward or something. A short separation is better than a new marriage. After installing the computer, Su Wei saw that Xiaowei was still busy, so he secretly scanned the computer with his smart bracelet on a whim. Oh my god. There were so many loopholes and viruses, it seems that the company's information technology needs to be strengthened. Well, Lao Ji has work to do now. It was not until after 1 p.m. that Xiaowei finished dealing with the accumulated tasks, and then the two went out for lunch together. After lunch, in order to let Xiaowei relax, Su Wei accompanied her to the mall for a while, and then the two returned to the office. Xiaohu, the company's situation has gradually stabilized in the past few days. The 1nm chip is being rushed to production, and the first batch of orders is expected to be completed next week. Mr. Ren and his team are also ready and will start production as soon as they receive the goods. This is the first time that a domestically produced smartphone has led the world. I think it will be a big hit. After Xiaowei made 2 cups of coffee, she sat down next to Su Wei and leaned against him lazily, feeling really good. I think so too. By the way, what about ZWE software? Su Wei put his arm around Xiaowei's slender waist, making her lean more comfortably, and then asked casually. Don't be too good, who doesn't love free things? Those third countries are crazy about it. Okay, if it is used well, the national strength can be greatly improved. Xiaowei stretched out her hand and tapped Su Wei's chin, teasing. Isn't this good? Just think of it as a good deed. Su Wei smiled slightly, not caring at all. It's up to you. Anyway, you are the boss, you have the final say. Xiaowei smiled with narrowed eyes. Really? Then come with me to Beijing tomorrow. Su Wei lowered his head and kissed the woman's forehead. Go to Beijing? What for? Xiaowei opened her eyes and asked curiously. Go to Xinghou, Su Wei said casually. Do you have an engine? Xiaowei's eyes lit up. No, I changed my mind. Su Wei shook his head. Ah. Why? Are you going to withdraw from the cooperation with Xinghou? Xiaowei sat up in shock. This was the first time she saw Su Wei give up. Don't be so excited, I just said I changed my mind, not to withdraw from the cooperation. Su Wei quickly pressed Xiaowei's shoulders. That is, Xiaowei looked curious. I'm going to go all out to enter the electric car market. We have batteries and chips. As long as we get a good motor and write an intelligent program, then the electric cars we make will definitely be 100 times better than that Godzilla, Su Wei said with a look of longing. He thought carefully and didn't plan to use ion thrusters right away, but to start with environmentally friendly electric cars. It just so happens that the world is promoting the concept of environmental protection, and Xiaogu is also vigorously supporting new energy vehicles, so it is only natural to produce and manufacture pure electric vehicles. I think it's okay, it's just that the motor requirements of electric vehicles are relatively high. I don't know if domestic manufacturers can meet them. And the program? Do you still want to do automatic driving? Xiaowei immediately became interested when she heard it. Don't worry, we are also very strong in the program, otherwise where would Fuxi's software come from? As for the motor, let's check it out first. Su Wei looked confident. It sounds okay. Then I will work hard now and arrange things for tomorrow. Xiaowei stood up and stretched her waist, showing off her beautiful curves. Gulp. Someone drank a sip of water. Puff, stinky brother, please go to a cool place. I'm going to work. After saying that, Xiaowei turned around elegantly, stepped on the rhythm of the disco in her high heels, and twisted her slender waist to go to work. Chapter 131 Flaming Pot. The next morning, Su Wei and Xiaowei flew directly to Beijing. Su Wei accompanied them throughout the journey, so the Shangwen sisters naturally stayed in Huatou City and did not follow. As soon as they got off the plane, Wang Pengcheng had already brought people to wait at the airport. After a round of greetings, everyone walked towards the exit. Wang Pengcheng's car was a top-of-the-line version of the third-generation Kayama. Although it was an old model from 20 or 30 years ago, a god car is a god car, and it still has its unique features. In fact, There are still many enthusiasts in China who support Kayama. After all, the frame is really good, and modification and upgrading are not a problem. The product of that era can be described in one word: sufficient materials, good workmanship, and low price. The only drawback is that because Kayama is out of generation, many advanced things are incompatible, and there is basically no comfort. After driving for more than 3 hours, we finally arrived at Puchun district outside the western suburbs of Beijing. Speaking of which, this place is already out of the scope of Beijing and belongs to Puchun. The factory area of Xinghuo is very large, which shows its glory in those days. It's a pity that most of them have stopped operating now. There are not many workers at work, and it is said that some are unemployed at home. They are all old employees of Xinghuo, neither too old nor too young, and reemployment is a big problem. After a round, Su Wei's head is buzzing. 1 word is broken, 2 words are old, and 3 words are old and old. In order to develop the 4th generation engine, Xinghuo almost spent all its money, resulting in a shortage of funds. And the 4th generation engine that was developed could not open up the market, leading to further deterioration. It can be said that it is facing a life and death moment. Brother Juan, you can't do this. It has to be greatly modified. No, it's almost torn down and rebuilt. In the office, Su Wei said with a wry smile. He didn't expect Xinghuo to have declined to the current state. To be honest, brother, Xinghuo has no money. Wang Pengcheng looked embarrassed. As a technician, he is indeed not very good at running a company. It's okay, I'll pay the money, but I'll trouble you to work harder, Su Wei said with wealth. Anyway, the money was taken from me shares, just right for development. If it's not enough, just go get more. With a Gold Digger 2.0, you can kill anyone who stands in your way. No problem. The people of Spark are least afraid of hardship, Wang Pengcheng said excitedly. The next step is to discuss the specific details. After the field investigation, Su Wei had a new idea in his mind. Since he was starting a new business, he might as well make it bigger. He might as well produce the electric motors himself. Apart from other things, he had hydrogen metal, a superconductor magic weapon. Even if he used the current ordinary motor technology, the finished product could still be far better than his peers. What's more, the wasteland was already preparing it, so he could just take it and use it. The meeting lasted from morning to afternoon. Su Wei was extremely glad to bring Xiaowei with him, otherwise he would have to be at a loss for many things. It's different to have a beautiful CEO. She's pleasing to the eye and reliable to use. He rejected Wang Pengcheng's invitation. Su Wei took Xiaowei to a romantic candlelight dinner. Good wine, delicious food, beautiful women, lights, candles, and beautiful women. Good times are always short. After dinner, Xiaowei took Su Wei to the antique street in Beijing to broaden his horizons. This is a major feature of Beijing. Although it was evening, it was still very lively here. There was an endless stream of people buying and selling things. Basically, everything from ancient times to modern times can be seen here. The prices are even more outrageous, with the opening price being tens of thousands and the transaction price being tens of thousands. Although people know that there are more fakes than real ones, they still enjoy it. Maybe this is the so-called fluke mentality. What if I am lucky and find a bargain? Su Wei doesn't understand these things and is not very interested. The Xia family doesn't care about this. So the two of them just came to stroll around and feel the atmosphere here. However, some things are indeed exquisitely made. For example, the purple clay teapot. Let's not talk about whether it is real or fake. The appearance looks ancient and quaint, and it is pleasing. So Su Wei decided to pick one as a gift for his grandfather. The purple clay teapots on this street are not all antiques. There are also exquisite modern products, all of which are clearly marked and made by famous masters. Su Wei and Xiaowei entered an old shop called Zixia Family, which sold all purple clay teapots made by modern masters. Fortunately, the shop was selling a 1 in a million Fengming teapot, which was priced at 1 million. What is a Fengming teapot? When the water is poured out of the teapot, it can make a crisp sound, like the cry of a phoenix, hence the name Fengming teapot. It is said that 1,000 kills may not produce one of these teapots, and it cannot be made deliberately, but only touched, so it is precious. Looking at the purple clay Fengming teapot that looks like a treasure tripod, Su Wei couldn't help but like it a little, and bought it without saying a word. Then Xiaowei also picked a purple clay teapot worth about 100,000 yuan, ready to give it to Grandpa Xia. This made the owner very happy, and he was busy packing the teapot as quickly as possible, and also gave him a few tea-pet gadgets. Bossong, I heard you just got a fengming pot. The old man's birthday is in 2 days, and I plan to give it to him as a gift. Just as Suwei and Xiaowei were about to leave, 2 more people came into the store, and the leader asked loudly. However, Suwei and Xiaowei couldn't help but be stunned when they heard this voice. This world is really small. Mr. Luan, I'm sorry, the fengming pot has been bought by this customer, the owner Song Yi explained to the visitor with an apologetic look. Why is it you? The visitor looked at Suwei, who the owner pointed at, and his face suddenly became gloomy. Why can't it be me? Long time no see, Mr. Luan. Looking at Luan Guoqiang, who was shocked and angry, Suwei's face was full of inexplicable smiles. Yes, the visitor was Luan Guoqiang, who was destined to become a mortal enemy, and beside him was his dog-headed military advisor Zhan Qishan. Enemies are particularly jealous when they meet. Song Yi's originally happy heart suddenly turned cold. It seems that the atmosphere is not right. HMPH. Bossong, find me another fengming teapot, Luan Guoqiang said with a sullen face. Why is this guy always the first to get it? Did I owe him in my last life? Hey, Mr. Luan, fengming teapots are rare, where can I find one? Song Yi immediately looked miserable. Hey, Bossong, that thing is far away in the sky and right in front of you. Are you old and blind? Zhan Qishan pushed his gold-rimmed glasses and said in a gloomy tone. Hey, Song Yi looked at Luan Guoqiang, then at Suwei. Finally, he walked towards Suwei. Sir, I'm sorry, I'm old and confused, and I remembered it wrong. This fengming teapot has been promised to Mr. Luan, please return it, as compensation. How about giving the other teapot for free? Song Yi said to Suwei with a helpless look on his face. Bossong, do you think I'm a monkey? Are you kidding me? I'm watching everything, I'm not deaf or blind. Suwei smiled coldly. Sir, please don't embarrass me, okay? Some people are hard to offend. Song Yi glanced at Suwei with dissatisfaction. How can this young man not know what's good for him? I'm protecting you, don't you understand? Chapter 132 Don't I have any face? So, it's me who is easy to offend. Suwei laughed at Song Yi's words. Luan Guoqiang, wants face, don't I want face? No matter what you say, I won't sell this pot to you anyway, please return it. Song Yi didn't want to tangle with Suwei anymore, and said directly. At this time, Luan Guoqiang and others looked like they were watching a good show. So what if you bought it? Don't wait to spit it out obediently. What are you thinking? What the hell are you thinking? The transaction is completed, and even the invoice has been issued to me. How can I return it to you? Suwei will not indulge his bad habits, a dog who bullies the weak and fears the strong. You. Song Yi was so angry that he couldn't speak. Sister Wei, let's go. After Suwei finished speaking, he took Xiaowei's little hand and walked out. Mr. Luan, I. After Suwei left, Song Yi looked at the gloomy Luan Guoqiang with a look of bewilderment. HMPH, Luan Guoqiang snorted coldly and turned to walk out of the store. Zhan Qishan hurriedly followed him. Song Yi was left alone, sighing, not knowing how to deal with himself. Master Luan, aren't we going to look for something else? Zhan Qishan, who had chased out, asked Luan Guoqiang, who was furious in front of him. No, call me Qiang, I must kill him tonight. Luan Guoqiang said it almost with gritted teeth. Any man could see Xiaowei's performance just now. So, now Luan Guoqiang only wants to kill Suwei. And the Minqiang he mentioned is Ghostblade's senior brother. After Ghostblade disappeared, he came to look for him. Master Luan, with his current identity, I'm afraid it's not appropriate to do it. Zhan Qishan hurriedly dissuaded him after hearing this. Putting aside the current Xia family, Suwei provided hydrogen metal to the country, which became his protective shield, and anyone who wanted to touch him had to think carefully. I don't care, tell Minqiang that Suwei knows the whereabouts of the ghost knife, but let him be clean. Luan Guoqiang insisted on his own way, opened the car door and got in, and then ordered the driver to drive, without waiting for Zhan Qishan. Zhan Qishan sighed slightly, and could only take out his mobile phone, find a number and dial it. After a simple conversation, he hung up the phone, took out the phone card, broke it and threw it away, and replaced it with a new one. As a self-proclaimed military advisor, he often needs to deal with some special things without leaving any traces, so he has a dedicated phone. After making arrangements, Zonkishan didn't rush back, but continued to stroll in the antique street. After leaving Zisha family, Suwei and Xiaowei lost the interest in continuing shopping and prepared to take a taxi back to the hotel. However, after coming out, Suwei didn't rush to take a taxi, but took Xiaowei to a secluded park. "Stinky brother, what do you want to do?" Xiaowei was confused by Suwei's operation. Why go to the park at night? Did he want to find romance like other young lovers? Oh. This is so embarrassing. Don't ask, you'll know in a moment. Suwei's attention was already on the back, and he just answered casually. Bah, stinky brother. Xiaowei felt shy, but who made her like Suwei? So what if she accompanied him to go crazy once? So, the two of them walked hand in hand and silently towards the nearby park. It was almost 12 o'clock in the middle of the night, and the park was very quiet. Only a few young lovers were still under the flowers and moon, inseparable and reluctant to separate. Seeing this, Xiaowei's face became even redder. The white and tender little hand held by Suwei gradually became hot, as if shyly showing a faint blush. Unfortunately, Suwei didn't notice it at all at this moment, and took Xiaowei to the deepest and quietest place. That's it. Sister Wei. Suwei chose a small pavilion surrounded by trees, and there was a little open space outside the pavilion, covered with green grass. Oh, Xiaowei felt that she was no longer herself at this moment, but a puppet of Suwei, and walked woodenly towards the pavilion. Sister Wei, just watch my performance here, Suwei said, pushing Xiaowei to sit on the chair. Ah. Performance? What performance? Xiaowei realized that the atmosphere was wrong at this moment. Because Suwei's eyes had always remained clear and sharp, not at all what she thought. And as they stopped, the air around them seemed to become thicker, making people feel a little nervous. Come out, sneaky thing, Suwei shouted at a dark corner. Are you Suwei? A broken gun-like voice came, and a man with a face full of flesh walked out of the shadows, holding a pistol in each hand, turning it on his fingers like a fan. Who are you? Suwei walked out of the pavilion as if he was taking a leisurely stroll and greeted him. Me, you don't need to know, tell me the whereabouts of the ghost knife, and I can consider giving you a quick death, otherwise, after I kill you, I will definitely go to your house to look for it. If I can't find it, I will be very angry, and when I am angry, I will kill people, so, pray for your family. The harsh voice of the dark spear was really unpleasant to hear. Humph, then it depends on whether you have such ability. Suwei snorted coldly, and the murderous aura on his body had already solidified. Although Xiaowei was worried, after seeing him and the Shengwen sisters' criticism, she instinctively trusted Suwei, so she sat quietly aside. Arrogant boy, Dark Spear rushed up as he said this. The two guns in his hands flew like butterflies in the wind, seemingly soft but deadly. 8 extremes shock. Suwei also attacked with hatred, his fists were like the wind, and set off a bigger storm. The grip of death was activated, and his palms became as black as ink, and any butterfly that touched them was instantly shattered. You know, that butterfly is a gunflower. Every collision means a fight between Suwei and Ming Qiang. As a result, Ming Qiang was defeated every time. How is it possible? Ming Qiang was getting more and more frightened. He felt that he had hit a wall today. Once he was afraid, Ming Qiang's gunflowers became more chaotic. He was hit by Suwei's punch on his right hand, and a shotgun flew out and nailed to the tree next to him. Facing Suwei's punch, Ming Qiang was scared and shot the shotgun in his hand without thinking. However, his target was not Suwei but Xiaowei. Because only in this way could he have a chance to escape. Despicable Suwei turned around and knocked the shotgun away. He cursed angrily and then chased after him. Cannon hammer. Entering the woods, Suwei pushed the ground hard with his feet, and the whole person was like a cannonball fired at Ming Qiang. Ming Qiang was so scared that he ran as fast as he could, but unfortunately he still couldn't escape Suwei's lock. Bang! A punch hit Ming Qiang's back, and the huge force instantly shattered Ming Qiang's heart meridian, making him dead. Without waiting for Ming Qiang to fall, Suwei put his body into the storage space. It would be bad if it hit a child. Even if there were no children, it would be bad to hit flowers and plants. Chapter 133 Hatred Transfer. Xiao Wei, are you okay? When Xiaowei chased after him, Suwei was the only one left in the woods. I'm fine, Suwei waved his hand. Where are the people? Xiaowei curiously glanced around, and there was no trace of people. He ran away, and I didn't catch up. Suwei pretended to be annoyed. It doesn't matter. He can't beat you, so he probably won't dare to come again. Xiaowei quickly grabbed his hand to comfort him. Yeah, that's right, let's go, Sister Wei. Su Wei smiled and nodded when he heard it. Where to? Xiaowei was stunned. Hotel. Su Wei's expression made Xiaowei's face hot again. With that, the two left the grove together. Before leaving, Su Wei took away 2 pistols. Weapons that can fight against the grip of death without a flaw should not be ordinary items. No words that night. The next day, Su Wei and Xiaowei went back to the Xia family to visit Grandpa Xia, and they had a hearty lunch with him before leaving. Since Xinghe had already reached an agreement, it had to be implemented as soon as possible. So, the two of them took a flight back to Huidu City that afternoon. On the other side, Luan Guoqiang was shocked to learn that Minqiang had not returned overnight. Mr. Luan, it seems that we still underestimated the strength of that kid. Minqiang is probably in danger. Zhang Qishan looked at Luan Guoqiang with a worried look on his face. Minqiang debuted much earlier than Ghostblade, and his cultivation had reached the platinum level. But he still went without returning. HMPH, trash, it's better that he doesn't come back. Have you dealt with the aftermath? Luan Guoqiang's face turned red. He was originally an ant-like existence, but now he has climbed over his head and acted arrogantly. Well, Mr. Luan, the relationship between us and Minqiang has been erased. Even if Su Wei knows that it is related to us, he can't have evidence, Zhang Qishan said after pushing his gold-rimmed glasses. With the status of the Luan family, without solid evidence, the Xia family has no right to make trouble. That's good, humph, it's just a bargain for that kid. Thinking of Su Wei's infinite glory, Luan Guoqiang couldn't help wanting to kill. But now Su Wei's identity is different from the past. If you want to touch him, you have to hide him with one strike, otherwise the consequences will be very troublesome. Master Luan, why worry? Someone will naturally take care of Su Wei for us, Zhang Qishan said with a smile. Oh. What do you mean? Luan Guoqiang was stunned. It's not easy to make trouble for Su Wei, but those have the mark of the Luan family and cannot be used easily. I have sent someone to send a letter to Master Kanjian, tell him that his beloved disciple Ghost Knife and Dark Spear have been killed by others, and there is no body left. Zhang Qishan kept a gentle smile on his face, but it gave people an endless cold feeling. Ha ha ha. Good, 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 you are worthy of being the military advisor I favor. Qishan, you did a great job on this matter. Luan Guoqiang laughed heartily when he heard it. Thank you, young Master Luan, for the compliment. Zhang Qishan smiled faintly, with a confident look. Kanjian is well known in the hidden sects. He was already a king-level grandmaster 10 years ago. He is a strange person, but he is very protective of his shortcomings, and other sects are very troubled by this person. Unless the person he's eyeing is stronger than him, the consequences will be tragic. Once a disciple of a big sect was hunted down by Kanjian all over the world because he injured Kanjian's disciple. Later, the emperor-level leader came forward to mediate and suppressed the matter. But afterwards, the disciple of the big sect was still seriously injured. As for who it was, no one saw it, but everyone knew it. If Kanjian knew that Su Wei killed Gidao and Minqiang, he would definitely kill Su Wei for revenge. After returning to Huidu City, Su Wei and Xiaowei rushed to the company to arrange the reconstruction of Xinghe. Su Wei waited until the Shangwen sisters came over before leaving the company. After leaving Ziwei Group, Su Wei turned to the Angel Studio, where everyone was practicing hard. But Su Wei still felt a bit of a depressing atmosphere. Shuang, have you encountered any difficulties? I see everyone is a little depressed. In the lounge, Su Wei saw Shuang, who was sweating profusely, and quickly stood up to pour her a glass of warm water. Thank you, nothing, maybe everyone is a little tired from practicing recently. Shuang took the cup of water and smiled sweetly at Su Wei. Oh, then relax a little, it's still early for product endorsements, there's no need to rush. Su Wei nodded when he heard this, thinking that it was because of the last time he talked about product endorsements that made them feel stressed. It's okay, this way, everyone feels very fulfilled. The rewards you get from hard work are the best, aren't they? Shuang said with a fighting spirit. That's right, are you free tonight? Let's have dinner together, Su Wei then invited. He had something to do last time, so today is a good time to make up for it. I'm afraid it's not possible tonight. We have an appointment to rehearse singing and dancing, and it will probably be very late. Shuang immediately showed an apologetic look. It's okay, as long as you're happy, you can eat anytime. Su Wei smiled and didn't care. She was the lead singer, so she couldn't be absent. Bah, he. Thank you for your understanding. He Shuang immediately smiled and kissed Su Wei's cheek. Then, without waiting for Su Wei's reaction, she ran to continue practicing singing. What a fairy, Su Wei smiled and touched his face, then got up and left. Shuang, don't you really need to tell the boss? After Su Wei left, Mei Hongfang asked He Shuang with a worried look in the recording studio. No, he has enough things to do, let's solve our own problems. After adjusting her state, He Shuang pushed the door and walked into the recording studio, put on the headset, closed her eyes and began to brew her feelings. Alice. A strong little woman, Mei Hongfang sighed, returned to the operating table, and began to adjust the equipment and prepare for recording. Soon, He Shuang's beautiful singing voice was heard. After leaving Century Building, Su Wei did not go home. Instead, he went to the hardware store to buy a bunch of tools, and then drove to the cargo yard in the suburbs. After confirming that there was no one around, Su Wei entered the largest warehouse and released Thor. The huge body of the car gave people a huge sense of shock. However, Su Wei did not have time to appreciate it. He took out the grinding tools, connected the power supply, and began to grind the paint and icons on the car body. Su Wei did not stop until the car body was messed up and could no longer be seen in its original appearance. Then he cleared all the things with Tyrannosaurus Rex marks inside and put them back into the storage space. In this way, Thor can appear reasonably at the Phaeton base. Hey, look, I picked up a powerful weapon on the road, Thor. I don't know if I will be beaten to death if I say this. Chapter 134 Oolong. The next morning, Su Wei went to the wasteland world. However, this time he was not driving a big transport truck, but a giant Thor. Woo. Just as Su Wei was happily driving close to the base, a fierce alarm sounded. Fuck. Something happened. Su Wei was startled and hurriedly stepped on the accelerator and rushed towards the base. The closer he got, the more urgent the alarm sounded. He could even see all the Special Forces members dispatched, waiting in front of the door. Stop. Stop quickly, otherwise we will launch an attack. The voice of Wang Bowen from the armed department came from the small radio. Su Wei looked at the rearview mirror after hearing this, and there was no car. What is Wang Bowen doing? Live exercise? Warning, you have crossed the cordon. If you don't stop, you will bear the consequences. Wang Bowen's voice sounded again in the small radio. The Special Forces members brought out all the musket barrels and aimed at Su Wei's giant. Fuck, Su Wei hurriedly stepped on the brakes and stopped. The Big Mac made a sharp friction sound, leaving a long scratch on the ground before stopping. Oh my god, I was scared to death. Su Wei was still in shock, but fortunately the car did not overturn. Bang! Su Wei kicked open the car door and jumped out of the car, one hand on his waist, and pointed in the direction of the base and roared. Lao Wang, what the hell are you doing? Oh, I am most afraid that the air will suddenly become quiet. The original extremely tense atmosphere suddenly became weird. Boss, everyone felt like they had swallowed a grasshopper alive, and their stomachs were beating. Just now, they actually pointed a gun at their boss. Several people hurried to Su Wei's side. Looking at the furious boss, Wang Bowen was stunned, with an expression on his face that wanted to cry but couldn't cry. Who the hell can I go to for justice? Chuckles Yuna on the side couldn't help it anymore and laughed out of a duck sound. Brother Su Wei, your car is really top-notch, and there is no logo on it. No wonder the guards couldn't recognize it and sounded the alarm. I thought it was a suicide truck of a madman. Oh, I'm dying of laughter. Don't help me, let me slow down. Yuna pointed at the horrible-looking behemoth and laughed so hard that she couldn't straighten her back. Su Wei realized that he was the one who was wrong. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. As long as you are not embarrassed, the embarrassment will be for others. Boss, I'm sorry, I was negligent, please punish me, Wang Bowen said with a red face. He was holding it back. Can't laugh, don't laugh, doesn't the boss have any face? But his trembling eyebrows had already betrayed his heart. I was just testing your vigilance. Well, very good, I am very satisfied. Su Wei shamelessly tried to find a way out. Boss, you are wise, boss, you are mighty, boss, you are unprecedented and there will be no successor. Wei Jun and others hurriedly added bricks and tiles to Su Wei's step. Okay, that's enough. Su Wei hurriedly stopped. Boss, where did you get the car? It's too broken. Su Xiaodong hurriedly changed the subject. The main reason was that he felt that he was about to reach his limit. Broken car? You said it was a broken car? Su Wei had a look of disdain on his face. Huh, isn't it? Su Xiaodong took a closer look and it was indeed dirty and broken. Remember what the Tyrannosaurus Rex used to deal with the king-level aliens? Su Wei looked up at the sky at a 45-degree angle. Fuck, boss, where did you get it? Su Xiaodong couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. This head is indeed familiar, but are you sure the inside is the same? I picked it up. Su Wei looked as if it was a matter of course. Puff, Su Xiaodong vomited a mouthful of old blood. This thing can also be picked up? Old Wang, go up and take a look. Su Wei gave Su Xiaodong an unfathomable look, and then said to Wang Bowen. Yes, boss. Although Wang Bowen did not participate in that battle, he had read the detailed battle report. After hearing Su Wei's statement, his eyes instantly ignited with a fire. Ding, ding, ding. Wang Bowen climbed up the carriage, opened the hatch a crack and got in. A minute later, Wang Bowen jumped out of the car with excitement. Is it true? Su Wei asked proudly. Really? Wang Bowen nodded immediately. Is it pretty? Pretty? Is it powerful? Powerful? Wang Bowen turned into a nodding bug. Can you use it? Su Wei asked. Boss, I have to let my wife take a look at this. Wang Bowen looked embarrassed. He recognized the energy weapon, but he didn't know how to operate it. Your wife? Su Wei was stunned. In fact, it was Feng Yunzi, who was previously called his sister. After being repaired by the life potion and the conditioning of old kin, she has recovered as before. A great beauty. The two no longer had any psychological burden, and under the witness of everyone in the base, they became husband and wife. Yunzi used to be a weapons expert, the kind who was engaged in research and development. Wang Bowen talked about his wife with a proud face. Great. Old Wang, you two are both very capable, Su Wei suddenly realized. At first, Feng Yunzi was assigned a job in logistics, and later Wang Bowen suggested that she go to the mechanical department. Many people were still wondering, but now it seems that she is a professional match. Okay, then I will hand it over to you now. It will be the mainstay of our base in the future. There can't be any accidents. Su Wei patted Wang Bowen on the shoulder and said, Yes, boss. Wang Bowen, will defend it to the death. Wang Bowen was immediately excited and saluted Su Wei. Okay, I feel relieved with your words. Also, keep it confidential. Su Wei deliberately leaned in and said. Yes, boss. Wang Bowen immediately arranged for the special forces to drive the Big Mac into the base and store it directly in a spare warehouse. He immediately designated this place as a restricted area and had special forces stationed there 24 hours a day. At present, no one except him and his son-in-law Xiaodong knew what was on the car. Brother Su Wei, what was on the car? Back at the headquarters, Yuna couldn't help but ask Su Wei curiously. SHH, Su Wei made a silent gesture, then stood up and looked around. After making sure there was no one else, he returned to Yuna. Seeing this, Yuna turned on the player on the bracelet, and the room was suddenly filled with melodious songs. How is the investigation going? Su Wei asked instead of answering. No progress. Yuna shook her head with a wry smile. It's okay, take your time, the most important thing is not to alert the enemy, Su Wei comforted. Here, keep this, when the base encounters a major crisis and I'm not here, take it out. Su Wei said as he took out a bracket from his backpack, on which were two fist-sized, lavender crystals. Thunder Beast Soul, Yuna was shocked. Yes. The car is equipped with the energy weapon Thor. When she heard about the energy weapon, Yuna couldn't help but scream again. But she soon realized that something was wrong and quickly covered her mouth with her little hands. This is the energy source of the Thor. You have to keep it well. In addition, the arrival of such a big guy in the base will definitely attract the attention of that person, so you can make good use of this opportunity to investigate, Su Wei pointed out. Yes, I understand, Yuna nodded after hearing this. Chapter 135 Angel. Hey, this song is pretty nice. After finishing his business, Su Wei suddenly found that the song played by Yuna was very nice, so nice that it would make your ears pregnant. This was the most popular song before the catastrophe. It was hailed as the voice of the world. It was translated into many languages and sung in various countries, Yuna explained. Have you heard it when you were a child? Su Wei asked curiously. Before the catastrophe, Yuna was still a child. Well, this song was created more than 100 years ago. It became a classic as soon as it came out. It has been popular for more than 100 years. If it weren't for the catastrophe, it would probably continue to be popular. Yuna squinted her eyes and showed an admiring expression. Well, it's really nice. What's the name of this song? Su-wei also closed his eyes and took in the artistic conception of the song. The name of the song is Angel, Yuna replied. Angel, well, it's worthy of the name. Su-wei couldn't help but nod in praise. Brother Su-wei, if you like it, I'll copy it for you. Great. As she said that, Yuna copied the song and sent it to Su-wei's bracelet so that he could enjoy it at any time. This gave Su-wei a heads up. Now that the base has solved the problem of food and clothing, it is time to focus on the civilized construction of the base. Otherwise, when one is full, he will think of lust and cause trouble. There is no order without rules, so the first thing is to establish a legal department to be responsible for formulating and managing the order of the base, and at the same time supervise officials, and never allow bad behaviors such as abuse of power to exist. Su-wei does not want to spend so much effort to cultivate a large number of termites. Naturally, he has to find Songdan to discuss this matter. Su-wei proposed that Yuna be the minister of the legal department and a group of people be drawn from the armed forces department to form a public security brigade. Enforce the law in leisure time and participate in wartime. In this way, most of the day passed in a blink of an eye. Sister Song, what level have you strengthened to? After the discussion, Su-wei asked with concern while chatting. Only level 5, boss. Songdan's face flushed for no reason. It can only mean that her combat qualifications are not high, and she absorbs strengthening potions very slowly. It's okay, take your time, it's better to have it than not. Su-wei didn't care. His purpose was just to make her healthier, and he didn't need her to participate in the battle. Yet, Songdan nodded with a red face. Nana, have you absorbed the fire beast soul? Su-wei turned to Yuna and asked. Yet, I have absorbed it. It's a pity that there is no breakthrough, but I just feel that I have accumulated more than before, Yuna said a little depressed. As the level increases, the demand for energy also gradually increases. Everyone has different physiques, and bottlenecks may appear at any time. It can only be said that the road to improvement will become more and more difficult in the future. Oh, very good. The road to improvement is difficult, so you must guard against arrogance and impatience, Su-wei comforted him, but he couldn't help feeling touched in his heart. This shows how precious the fire corpse crystal that Zhang Ling gave him was. I didn't expect that I would owe her in the end. I have to work hard too. And try to absorb it as soon as possible. Su-wei took out a light golden crystal from his pocket. This was the power beast soul obtained from the three-headed dog of hell. I have absorbed it several times before, but there were always things that interrupted it. Boss, I'm going to get busy first. Sister Song, wait a minute, I'll go too, the two women said as they left the room, allowing Su-wei to absorb the energy from the beast soul with peace of mind. Hold the beast soul with both hands, close your eyes and adjust your energy frequency to synchronize with the beast soul, and a gentle energy will flow into your body continuously. This process can be fast or slow, depending on the degree of synchronization between yourself and the beast soul. The higher the degree of fit, the faster the absorption. It took Su-wei a full day and a half to absorb the beast soul in his hand, and the crystal turned into a pile of powder. Huh, cool. Su-wei stood up, his joints cracked like fried beans, and his level was raised from level 1 to level 2. Although he did not skip a level, because of his unparalleled physique, one upgrade is a double increase, so his real strength is enough to compete with level 3 and 4. After going out to the training ground and sweating, he mastered the new power and his strength increased greatly. At this time, good news came from Wang Changjiang, and the imitation electric motor had been successfully built. In fact, it is also very simple. It is to replace some advanced materials with ordinary materials according to the design drawings that can be found. Although the performance has declined, it is still very useful for the current wasteland world. For modern times, it is naturally not at the same level. Ji Tongguang also wrote a set of antivirus software and some office software with a very high security level according to Su-wei's requirements. Su-wei was very happy. After rewarding him, he took the drawings and materials and left the base. After returning to modern times, Su-wei went to Zhuyi Group as soon as possible and handed all the information to Xiaowei. Let her arrange for the personnel of the information department to complete the replacement of the company's antivirus software and firewall as soon as possible. At the same time, put the antivirus software and office software on the Zoe software platform as free welfare software for people to download. At the same time, you can also start to build an electric motor production line, which naturally fell on Wang Jian. With the rise of Zoe Electronics, Feng Huan and Wang Jian were so prosperous that their identities and status were like riding a rocket, rising up, and they became the big celebrities of Zoe. After arranging things, Su Wei came out of the group headquarters. He wanted to go to the Angel studio and let He Shuang listen to the song Angel from the Wasteland world. Maybe it could be used as the theme song of their studio. But halfway through, Su Wei's mobile phone suddenly vibrated. He took it out and saw that it was Luo Zichen's call. He was now responsible for protecting Li Xiaomen's safety. Could something have happened? Hello? Zichen. Su Wei quickly answered the phone. Boss, Secretary Li was sent to the hospital in a coma. Luo Zichen's words on the phone almost made Su Wei's head explode. Without saying anything, he went straight to Huatou City First Hospital. Zichen, what's going on? Half an hour later, Su Wei found Luo Zichen, who was wearing casual clothes, in the corridor on the 9th floor of the inpatient department. Boss, Secretary Li said this morning that he was going to discuss a purchase, but he suddenly fainted halfway. Fortunately, I was driving the car, otherwise the consequences would be disastrous, Luo Zichen whispered. What did the doctor say? Through the observation window, one could see Li Xiaomen lying in the intensive care unit, her face pale. Even in a coma, her brows were still slightly furrowed, showing that she was in great pain. Su Wei couldn't help but feel irritated. The doctor said that she is out of danger for the time being, but the specific condition can only be announced after the family members arrive, Luo Zichen replied. Have they been notified? Yes, the hospital notified her mother immediately, and she will probably be here soon. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136 Aunt Jia. Zio Man. As the two were talking, an urgent shout came from the corridor. Su Wei looked up and saw a woman with a name similar to Li Xiaoman running towards them. Her legs seemed to be inconvenient, but she didn't care. She stumbled and almost fell several times. She was Li Xiaoman's mother Jia Wei Ping. Auntie. Don't worry, Xiaoman is here. Su Wei and Luo Zichen ran forward and supported Jia Wei Ping. Xiaoman. Looking at her daughter in the ward, Jia Wei Ping couldn't stop crying. Auntie, the doctor said she is out of danger, don't worry, Su Wei comforted her hurriedly. Who are you? Jia Wei Ping looked at the strange man in front of her and asked in surprise. Oh, Auntie, I am Xiaoman's boss, Su Wei. Su Wei introduced himself hurriedly. Oh, I heard Xiaoman talk about you. Did you send my daughter to the hospital? Thank you. Jia Wei Ping was so excited that she was a little incoherent. Auntie, you're welcome. This is what we should do. Has Xiaoman been like this before? Su Wei couldn't help asking. I don't know. My legs and feet are not convenient. She is always busy running around. She never told me that she was uncomfortable. Jia Huping looked confused. She didn't know why her daughter suddenly fainted. Then, Auntie, I will accompany you to find a doctor to find out more details. Let Zichen take care of Xiaoman first, Su Wei hurriedly arranged. He also wanted to know what happened now. Okay, Jia Huping nodded repeatedly as if she had found her backbone. So, with the help of Su Wei, the two came to the doctor's office. After asking, they found the attending Dr. Zhao Qin, a female doctor in her 40s. Hello, Dr. Zhao, we are relatives of Li Xiaoman. Su Wei helped Jia Huping sit down next to Zhao Qin. Li Xiaoman, how can you be a family member? The patient was diagnosed with a malignant tumor in the brain half a year ago. Why don't you cooperate with active treatment? Zhao Qin opened the medical record and immediately yelled at Jia Huping and Su Wei. What? Malignant tumor? Jia Huping almost fainted. Su Wei was shocked. He didn't expect such a result. Why? You didn't know. Zhao Qin seemed to have guessed something from the expressions of the two people, and her tone was a little relaxed. My daughter never told me about it. What should I do? Jia Huping's tears poured out like a flood. Faced with a disease, humans seem so helpless. Doctor, how is Xiaoman's condition now? Su Wei frowned slightly. This strong girl actually concealed it so well that she didn't notice it at all. The location of the tumor is quite special, and the possibility of surgery is not very high. With her current condition, she can only have chemotherapy. If the situation is optimistic, she can at least last for 3 to 5 years. It's even possible for 10 years, but if there is no chemotherapy, it is estimated that she won't be able to wait for a year, Zhao Qin said after reading the medical record carefully again. Li Xiaoman had also been examined here before, so the computer has complete information. Wu Wu hearing the doctor say this, Jia Huping could no longer hold back her tears. Auntie, don't be sad, I will find a way to cure Xiaoman, Su Wei hurriedly comforted her. Sister, don't be so pessimistic, there is still hope with active treatment, Zhao Qin also hurriedly comforted her. Thank you, Jia Huping responded somewhat mechanically. For ordinary people, cancer is equivalent to being sentenced to death. Dr. Zhao, I will go back and slowly persuade her, so as not to delay your work. Seeing someone coming to Zhao Qin, Su Wei helped Jia Huping stand up. Well, comfort the old man well, in addition, mobilize the patient well, believe in medicine, and actively treat it, Zhao Qin urged Su Wei. Okay, I know, Dr. Zhao, you go first. After that, Su Wei helped Jia Huping out of the office. Auntie, it's right to listen to the doctor. As long as you actively treat it, you will get better, Su Wei persuaded earnestly. Now of course he couldn't say that he had a way to cure Li Xiaoman. If he really said that, Jia Huping would probably call the police to arrest him. Yes, I know, thank you. After coming out, Jia Huping calmed down a little, but she was still very depressed. Su Wei had to stay by her side all the time, fearing that she would get stuck in a dead end. I don't know how long it took, but suddenly heard the nurse calling Li Xiaoman's family. Su Wei hurriedly supported Jia Huping and ran over. It turned out that Li Xiaoman woke up. It's good that she woke up. She didn't need to stay in the intensive care unit and could be transferred to the general ward for recuperation. Su Wei asked Luo Zichen to go through the formalities, and he took Li Xiaoman and Jia Huping to the intensive care unit in the suite. Mom, Li Xiaoman, who woke up and saw everyone, immediately knew that she couldn't hide it anymore. Her two big eyes were filled with water vapor, and tears as big as beans rolled down. Xiaoman, how could you hide it from your mother? Jia Huping couldn't help crying again. The mother and daughter immediately hugged each other and cried bitterly. Su Wei was in a state of panic, but now was not the right time, so he could only speak out to persuade them. Finally, he persuaded the mother and daughter by saying that Li Xiaoman had just woken up and needed to rest. Seeing that their emotions were gradually stabilizing, he took the opportunity to leave the ward and let them talk calmly. However, Su Wei did not go far, and sat in the corridor outside the ward to rest. Su Wei, you go back, I'll take care of it here. Don't delay your business. In the evening, Jia Huping looked at Su Wei who was still busy and said, the dinner just now was bought by others. She felt very guilty for such a big boss doing these things. It's okay, Auntie. More people means more care. If you have anything, just call me, Su Wei said enthusiastically. He didn't treat himself as an outsider. Boss, you go back, I'm fine. Li Xiaoman, who was hiding in the quilt, couldn't help but speak. This made her feel so embarrassed. Okay? Are you okay? Humph, if Zichen hadn't been here today, do you know the consequences? Just lie down and rest now, don't do anything else. Su Wei glared at Li Xiaoman unhappily. If this hadn't happened, who knows how long she would have kept it a secret. Maybe, she would disappear again, and then even if he had great ability, he couldn't save her. Oh, just take a rest, why are you so fierce? Li Xiaoman shrank back into the quilt after hearing this, but couldn't help muttering softly. Seeing the two of them so harmonious, Jia Huping closed her mouth again. Auntie, you should also rest early, I'll be outside, just call me if you have anything. Su Wei closed the door and went out. There were 2 beds in the inner room, so that Jia Huping could also rest. Chapter 137 Tool Man. Zio Man, is he really your boss? Looking at Su Wei who was leaving, Jia Huping asked in confusion. This boss was too nice and considerate. Mom, I'm so sleepy. Let's talk tomorrow. I'm going to sleep. Li Xiaoman didn't dare to answer this, and quickly covered her head and pretended to sleep. Zio Man, after calling her daughter a few times, she didn't respond. She was afraid of disturbing her, so Jia Huping had to lie down on the bed by herself. She was in poor health to begin with, and after a day of tossing and turning today, Jia Hooping couldn't stand the tiredness and fell asleep soon. There was a faint sound, and Li Xiaoman, who had fallen asleep, secretly got up and looked at her mother for a long time. After making sure that her mother was asleep, Li Xiaoman slowly got out of bed. She didn't even wear shoes for fear of making any noise, and her white and tender feet stepped directly on the cold floor. But at this moment, she didn't feel cold at all, but her heart was as hot as a fire. He tiptoed to the door, quietly opened the door a crack, then went out and quietly closed the door. In the living room, Su Wei was lying on the sofa, not asleep yet, holding a mobile phone in his hand and browsing the company's data. These were all sent to him by Xia Wei. As the boss of the company, of course he couldn't be ignorant of his company. So, when he had free time, Su Wei would look through it. Suddenly, something fragrant came into his arms. Looking down, wasn't it Li Xiaoman? Ah! Why did you come out? Su Wei pretended to be surprised. In fact, he noticed a moment Li Xiaoman opened the door, but in order to create an atmosphere, of course he could only pretend to have just noticed it. SHH. Don't wake up my mother. Li Xiaoman quickly covered Su Wei's mouth and whispered in his ear. Yet, Su Wei nodded, resisted the urge to hug, and deliberately kept a straight face and continued to browse the data. What are you looking at? You're so engrossed. Are you peeking at a pretty girl? Oh, haha, Greek letter omega? Li Xiaoman pouted in dissatisfaction, took Su Wei's phone and took a look, and found that it was full of data tables, so she had to stick out her tongue in a cute way. Su Wei continued to look stern and ignored her. Boss Su, please don't be angry, okay? I'm not hiding it from you on purpose. No big deal, you can do whatever you want. Li Xiaoman knew what Su Wei was upset about, and quickly begged for peace in a low voice. You said it. Su Wei put away his phone and looked down at her big, beautiful black eyes and said. Yeah, I said it. Li Xiaoman nodded repeatedly. After learning that she had a tumor in her brain, Su Wei was still willing to stay and help her, which touched her very much. Even if she died at this moment, she would have no regrets. It is not easy for a woman to meet someone who cares about her so much in her life. Then be obedient and accept treatment. But before Su Wei finished speaking, Li Xiaoman put her hand on his lips, blocking his words. Except for this, I can promise you anything. Will you listen to me finish my words? Li Xiaoman's gentle voice was extremely firm. Yes, Su Wei had no choice but to nod and agree. My father died of a brain tumor when I was very young. It was my mother who raised me up. She was afraid that I would be wronged, so she refused to remarry and eventually became sick. Li Xiaoman adjusted her posture and lay on Su Wei's chest, listening to his strong heartbeat, and then continued to tell the story. In order to reduce the burden on her mother, Li Xiaoman voluntarily gave up the opportunity to go to college and chose the automotive major of a vocational college. This not only allows her to work in advance, but also allows her to work part-time while studying at school. Because of her good image and temperament and solid professional knowledge, she was recruited by Zhuyi Auto Sales after graduation and started working as a salesperson. In just 2 years, she was transferred from an ordinary branch to the head office to sell luxury cars, and her income naturally increased exponentially. Li Xiaoman finally made her mother live a good life with her own ability. At this time, she had a new goal, saving money to buy a bigger house so that her mother could spend her old age in peace. However, things did not go as planned. Half a year ago, Li Xiaoman suddenly had frequent headaches and dizziness. She went to the hospital for a checkup and found that she had a tumor in her brain. After a re-examination, it was confirmed to be malignant. This was undoubtedly a bolt from the blue, shattering all her dreams. The doctor advised her to be hospitalized for treatment at the time, and there might be a glimmer of hope. But Li Xiaoman knew that once the treatment began, it meant that her savings and even her mother's future would be dragged into the bottomless abyss. Moreover, chemotherapy is extremely harmful to the human body, and she did not want to become an ugly monster. Let's die. It is not a bad thing to leave life in the prime of life, and it can save a lot of money to provide for her mother's retirement. In this world, the only thing she can't let go of is her mother, but there is no other way. The only thing she can do is to work hard to make money and try to save a considerable pension for her mother before she leaves as compensation. In addition, she had another wish, which was to enjoy a perfect love affair, so on that day, she met the man of her life, Su Wei. Although Su Wei's opening was very rich, his eyes were very pure, and she didn't feel disgusted when getting along with him. So, everything happened naturally. Originally, she thought that everything would end with her leaving Zui Auto Sales, and she would leave this world alone and quietly. Unexpectedly, by chance, she became Su Wei's secretary again. Although she knew that she had no future, she couldn't help it, and threw herself into the fire again and again. Thinking that she didn't have much time anyway, it was better to be happy than to be sad. Thinking that she would leave quietly in the end and would not affect his life. But she didn't expect that the condition would deteriorate faster than expected, and she fell into coma after just half a year. Huh? So I'm just your tool, or the kind that you throw away after using it? After listening to this, Su Wei was moved, but also a little annoyed. Bah, you are such a good guy, you must be secretly happy in your heart. Well, I don't ask for anything. After I leave, if you can remember to come and see me every year and give me a flower, I will be satisfied. Li Xiaoman reached out and patted Su Wei, blushing. At first, she really thought so. But the more she got in touch with him, the more she couldn't help herself, and finally ended up like this today. Silly girl, why don't you ask me to take care of your aunt? Su Wei reached out and rubbed the woman's long hair, and waves of warmth surged in his heart. He was really a big fool who made people love and pity him. No, I have already contacted a nursing home, and the annual salary you gave me in advance is enough to deal with everything. Li Xiaoman squinted her eyes and enjoyed the caress of her lover. Chapter 138, Chronic Illness. What a fool. Su Wei was speechless about Li Xiaoman's arrangement. This is the rhythm of self-abandonment. So, are you still going to persuade me to go for treatment? Looking at my haggard face, old skin, and falling hair, what's the point of living like this? Li Xiaoman's tears flowed quietly again, wetting the collar of Su Wei's chest. She didn't want to either. But there was no way. In comparison, she would rather Su Wei remember her young and beautiful appearance, rather than a bald patient waiting to die. Humph, you have carved my heart, and you want to just walk away. Dream on, I will never let you go, even if you are haggard, old skin, and hair falling, I will not let you go. Su Wei held the woman in his arms domineeringly, as if he was afraid that he would disappear if he let go. But Li Xiaoman was relieved and moved, and couldn't help crying softly. This will eventually come to an end. She was afraid that she would be even more reluctant at that time. Xiaoman, do you believe me? Su Wei pulled the woman up and looked into her eyes. Yes, Li Xiaoman nodded with tears in her eyes. Well, drink it. In the blink of an eye, Su Wei had a golden life potion in his hand. This, Li Xiaoman was puzzled. Do you remember Aunt Zhang? Believe me, in 3 days, I promise to give you a healthy body. Su Wei did not intend to explain anything, but mentioned Chen Long's mother Zhang Kehu. Gulp. Li Xiaoman took the potion and drank it in one gulp. She saw Zhang Kehu stand up miraculously with her own eyes. At that time, she just thought it was amazing, but she didn't expect Su Wei to be able to cure cancer. After the potion went down her throat, a warm current immediately rose up, making her feel comfortable all over. Okay, now go back and have a good sleep, and we will go home happily together tomorrow. Su Wei stretched out his hand and pinched the woman's pink cheek. Don't you need me to accompany you? No, have a good rest. When you are fully recovered, I will not let you rest. Su Wei leaned over and whispered in the woman's ear. Bah, you big bad guy. Li Xiaoman blushed immediately, jumped off the sofa, and quietly slipped back to the room barefoot. Xiaoman, as soon as she entered the door, she heard Jia Hooping shouting. Li Xiaoman was so frightened that her hair stood on end. Was she discovered? Mom, Li Xiaoman asked in a trembling voice. But after waiting for a long time, there was no response. Li Xiaoman looked carefully again and found that her mother was still asleep. She might have been talking in her sleep just now. Who, I was almost scared to death. Li Xiaoman hurriedly touched the bed and got into the quilt. Maybe it was because of the medicine, or maybe the knot in her heart had been untied, and she fell asleep quickly. The next morning, Li Xiaoman woke up and felt better than ever. She didn't even feel the dizziness she had every day when she got up. This made her feel more expectant. But the mother Jia Hooping was in a very low mood, and she only forced a smile in front of her daughter. But this is an influence that cannot be eliminated for the time being, and we can only wait until the final test results come out. After completing the discharge procedures, Luo Zichen drove them home, and Su Wei naturally accompanied them. Li Xiaoman mortgaged a house in Fulanitung community in the eastern district of Huizhou City last year. And the name of her mother Jia Huping was written on the property certificate. There are 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms, which is spacious enough for the mother and daughter. The decoration is simple but stylish, full of warm charm. Xiao Su, let's have lunch here at noon. As soon as she entered the house, Jia Huping started to make arrangements. People have been busy all day and night, so naturally they have to thank them. You're welcome, Auntie, Su Wei quickly refused. Boss, stay for a meal. Li Xiaoman on the side quietly pulled Su Wei's sleeve to keep him. Okay. Sorry to bother you then. Su Wei had to nod his head when he heard it. Okay, you sit down. Jia Huping was immediately happy and went straight to the kitchen. What's wrong with Auntie's legs and feet? Su Wei sat on the sofa, and Li Xiaoman poured a cup of hot water. They didn't drink tea on weekdays, so the family didn't prepare it. Varicose veins plus rheumatoid arthritis, the whole body aches unbearably when the weather changes, and there is also hypoglycemia and gastritis. In short, there is no good part of the body, and taking medicine and injections don't work. Speaking of her mother, Li Xiaoman's face was full of worry. These were all diseases caused by overwork when she was young, and she didn't get good medical treatment at that time, so now she is plagued by several stubborn diseases. She can't eat well even if she wants to, and she can't play well even if she wants to. By the way, boss, can you? As she was talking, Li Xiaoman suddenly remembered the magic potion that Su Wei gave her to drink, wondering if it could help her mother get rid of the stubborn disease. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Su Wei smiled and nodded. He had other plans in mind, and it might be shocking to take out the life potion directly. So he decided to add water and make a batch of diluted life potions, so that the patients could take them for a longer period of time, which was relatively reasonable. Of course, he would still carry the genuine life potion with him, just in case. Thank you, boss. Li Xiaoman was so excited that she held Su Wei's hand tightly, and her big black eyes were full of love. Her greatest wish was to restore her mother's health. Jia Huping's movements were very quick, and she made 4 dishes and a soup in less than an hour. Although it was not as gorgeous and glamorous as the ones outside, it was full of the strong taste of home. Su Wei had a big appetite, and the taste was right, so he ate the whole meal, which made Jia Huping very happy. After dinner, Su Wei went downstairs and left, and gave Li Xiaoman a few days off, so that she could rest well and spend more time with her family. Su Wei asked Luo Zichen to send him to Jingxi Garden, and then he teleported to the wasteland world. While dealing with supplies, he asked Qin Lao to prepare a diluted version of the life potion to delay the effect of the medicine for 1 month. Today's Phaeton has a bit of the feeling of a modern city, and the life of doing their own job makes the survivors feel like they have come to heaven. As long as you work hard, you can support yourself and your family, which is almost unique in the wasteland world. So everyone cherishes this hard-won peace and consciously and spontaneously abides by and maintains the order of the base. In order to strengthen the defense capability, a 5-meter thick and 10-meter high wall was built outside the base. And some defensive weapons were arranged on it. These are all from the base's Science and Technology Department. The effect of technological revival is being reflected little by little. Of course, this is also due to the joining of the Sandsdog Gang, where a large amount of metal materials are stored. In the past, they were waste that could be seen but not eaten. Now they can be transported to the Phaeton base in exchange for food and weapons. Let Zhang Bao's day not be too easy. In order to win over the hearts of the people, Phaeton also sent a working group to help the Sandsdog Gang build houses and restore electricity, water supply and other livelihood projects. Ji Tongguang is even working on repairing the forging workshop in Ironforge. After all, there is not much inventory of advanced materials, and they will be forged and synthesized when they are needed. Once the forging workshop is repaired, the manufacturing capacity of the Phaeton Science and Technology Department will reach a new level. Chapter 139 Life Number 2. After staying in the wasteland world for a while, Su Wei returned to the modern world. Mainly because he was worried that Li Xiaoman would be anxious, he immediately sent the diluted life potion over as soon as he came back. 10 milliliters per bottle, 1 bottle per day, and 30 bottles for a course of treatment. Su Wei named it Life Number 2. This has nothing to do with algebra, it's just a name. After delivering the potion, Su Wei returned to Yunshujian. Now the property and security of Yunshujian have been taken over by Chen Long and others. The security personnel have been greatly expanded to nearly 100 people, and all of them are veterans. Chen Long arranged for them to train and work in groups. In the future, the elite will be selected from them for reinforcement. Strive to make Yun Shuji in the most luxurious manner in Huadu City. Su Jiao and Fang Kai Okiao have been staying at home these days and have not gone out much. Mainly because they have played in all the fun places around, there is nothing new, so it is better to stay at home and relax. When Su Wei found them, the two were swimming in the swimming pool. After not seeing each other for a few days, Fang Kai Okiao has become very skilled in swimming, moving freely in the water, like a mermaid returning to the sea. It can be seen that Fang Xiaonu has put a lot of effort in this. Sister, Kai Okiao, what do you want to eat tonight? Brother will make it for you. Su Wei came to the swimming pool and asked the two beautiful girls in swimsuits. Brother Su, I can cook anything, Fang Kai Okiao still answered in a low voice. Is your cooking as good as the chef of Gishixuan? Sister Su Jiao asked seriously. The food in Yun Shujian is specially arranged by the chef of Gishixuan. The dishes are changed every day, and they are rotated for a month without any repetition. Okay, I was successfully disliked, Su Wei smiled bitterly. Brother, I'm just teasing you, don't be angry. By the way, how come you have time to come here today? Su Jiao swam over with a smile. Dad and Mom will be back soon, and we will go to the airport together when they come. Su Wei handed them towels. Okay. By the way, when will Grandpa come back? Su Jiao asked. Tonight too, but he won't let us pick him up, saying he will come back by himself. Su Wei shook his head helplessly. Maybe he fell in love with that old lady. Ouch, brother, why did you hit me? Su Jiao smiled like a little fox, but it was a pity that she was handsome for only 3 seconds, and was hit on the head by Su Wei. Fang Kai Okiao, who was standing by, wanted to laugh. If Dad heard this, he would beat your butt to pieces. How can you make up stories about old people like this? Su Wei laughed and scolded angrily. Humph, I didn't say anything bad, this is a good thing. I also want Grandpa to find a new grandma for us. Su Jiao covered her forehead and pouted. Okay. Stop talking nonsense. Su Wei looked helpless. What was this little girl thinking about all day long? Brother, didn't you see Grandpa's circle of friends? Su Jiao looked at Su Wei suspiciously. I saw them. Aren't they all travel photos? Su Wei was stunned and answered. Then didn't you notice that Grandpa always took photos with a grandma in blue clothes? Su Jiao asked. It seems so. Su Wei recalled carefully and it seemed to be true. Or do you oppose Grandpa finding a partner? Su Jiao? Nonsense, when did I oppose it? As long as both parties are happy, I will naturally support it with both hands. Su Wei quickly expressed his opinion. Brother, this is what you said. I tell you, I think this is almost certain. I have found out the identity of that grandma. Her name is Meng Zihu. She is 58 years old this year, a native of Huadu City, and lives in Huipan Bay not far from us. Su Jiao talked about it like she knew everything. Oh my god, where did you find out? Su Wei was shocked. How could his sister have the potential of being a paparazzi? Because I often video chat with Grandpa. Those grandpas and grandmas like me so much, it's easy to ask them anything, Su Jiao said with a smug look on her face. I see, but don't get involved in this, Su Wei had to warn him. I know. In order to facilitate the pickup, Su Wei bought a Mercedes-Benz business car and put it in the yard. In the afternoon, the three of them packed up and drove to the airport with Jin Ziafin. At 5 o'clock at the airport, they saw Su's father and mother walking out of the exit in fashionable clothes, followed by Gong Fanson dragging a suitcase. Dad, Mom, Su Jiao ran and threw herself into her mother Wang Ziulin's arms. The few people were naturally happy to meet each other. Uncle, and, hello, Fang Kai Okiao greeted with a blushing face. She used to go home with Su Jiao to play during the holidays, so Su's father and mother naturally recognized him. Kai Okiao is here too, she's grown a lot taller. Su's mother Wang Ziulin pulled Fang Kai Okiao over and patted her head lovingly. The three women chatted and chattered, it was so lively. Dad, how was your trip? Su Wei helped take the backpack from Su Jinkei. Well, it was good, it was considered to have fulfilled one of your mother's wishes. Su's father smiled, but still gave people a steady temperament. Just be happy. Do you have any other wishes? When the few people were about to leave while chatting, a crisp and sweet female voice came. Uncle Su, Aunt Su, Su Wei turned his head and saw a fashionable girl in her 20s, dragging a huge box, running towards this side. She had long chestnut hair draped over her shoulders, with a few small braids on both sides, an oval face, delicate facial features, and light makeup. She wore a t-shirt with a wide denim jacket, a pair of ripped jeans, and a pair of black leather boots. "Dad, do you know her?" Su Wei asked Su's father in surprise. "Well, she is a tour guide we met in Haicheng, Liu Minimum. She introduced us to many scenic spots and took us to Gangcheng, Aowen and other places. She is a very warm-hearted girl. I heard that she is also from Huidu City," Su's father Su Jinkei explained to his son in a low voice. "Oh," Su Wei nodded after hearing this. "Uncle Su, Aunt Su. How are you going? Do you want to take my friend's car together?" Liu Min pointed behind her, and a handsome middle-aged man not far away raised his hand and waved. "No, Xiao Liu, my son is here to pick us up. This is my son Su Wei, my daughter Su Jiao, her classmate Fang Kaiao." Su's mother Wang Ziulin introduced Liu Min with a smile. "Hi, hello. My name is Liu Min, and I am a tour guide. You can contact me anytime if you need anything." Liu Min shook hands with Su Wei and others very generously. "Then I won't disturb your family reunion. Bye." After saying that, Liu Min dragged the big box away, and before leaving, she did not forget to hand out business cards to everyone. Chapter 140 Negotiation. When Su Wei and others arrived home, Grandpa Su had not returned yet. He called to inquire and was told that he had already arrived in Huidu City and was on his way home. Su Wei then called Gishixun and asked someone to send dinner over. Soon, a sumptuous dinner was delivered, filling up a large table. After taking a shower, Su's father and mother came downstairs, holding a bunch of gifts in their hands, all souvenirs bought at tourist destinations. Su Jiao jumped and shouted after receiving the gifts, and Fang Kaiao also smiled happily. "Hey, where are Xiao and Shuang?" Su's mother asked Su Wei with the gifts. "Mom, Sister Wei has an emergency meeting today and can't come. Shuang's studio will participate in a competition next month, and they are in training, so they can't come either. It's just a few of us today," Su Wei said while opening a glass of red wine. "Oh, what about Xiaoman?" Su's mother asked again. "Xiaoman is sick. I gave her a few days off to rest at home." After opening the red wine, Su Wei poured out the wine to wake her up. "Ah, is it serious? Did you go to the hospital?" Su's mother asked with concern. "I've been to the doctor. It's nothing serious. Just take some medicine and rest for 2 days," Su Wei said while shaking the decanter. "That's good. Then remember to bring the gifts to them tomorrow." Mother Su pointed to the 3 gifts in the living room. "Got it, Mom." With that, several people sat down around the dining table. But Mr. Su hadn't come back yet, so everyone chatted while waiting, listening to Dad and Mom Su telling about their experiences on this trip. But after waiting for a long time, there was no sign of Mr. Su. Just when Su Wei was about to call again, Wei Qiang called. "Hello, Wei Qiang, where are you?" Su Wei quickly answered the phone. "Boss, we are at the front gate of Xianhu Garden. I'm afraid we can't go back for a while." There was a hint of weirdness in Wei Qiang's voice. "Oh, what's going on?" Su Wei stood up in shock. The chattering of the people in the restaurant stopped. "Boss, the old man won't let me get involved. I made all the calls secretly. What exactly is going on? I can't explain it clearly." "Oh, how about you come over and take a look?" Wei Qiang's voice was somewhat helpless. "Okay, I'll go right over. You take good care of the old man." "I know, boss." After saying that, Su Wei hung up the phone. "Xiao Wei, what's wrong?" Su's father asked, and everyone else looked at Su Wei. Nothing. I'll go pick up Grandpa now." Su Wei's mind was also full of confusion at the moment. But it didn't sound like a big deal, so he didn't say anything for the time being. As he said that, Su Wei turned around and walked towards the door. "Brother, I'll go too." Su Jiao quickly got up and chased after him. Su Wei didn't stop him. He went out and called Chen Long and went straight to Xianhu Garden. "Boss, this," at the door of a tea house at the front door of Xianhu Garden, Wei Qiang waved to Su Wei. "Where's Grandpa?" When Su Wei saw Wei Qiang alone, he frowned slightly. "Boss, the old man is drinking tea in there." Wei Qiang had a helpless expression on his face. Drinking tea? Su Wei was even more confused. What kind of tea is he drinking at this time? Besides, Grandpa likes to drink alcohol, but he doesn't like to drink tea. Although he had doubts in his heart, Su Wei and others followed Wei Qiang into the tea room. There were small compartments in the tea room, but they were only half a wall, so you could see the neighboring table when you stood up. As soon as he entered the door, Su Wei saw the back of Grandpa Su, sitting in a small compartment in the corner. Several people walked straight over. But when they were almost there, Su Jiao grabbed Su Wei and secretly pointed to a figure in the compartment with her little hand. "Brother, that's Grandma Meng Zihu." Su Jiao pulled Su Wei aside and whispered. Su Wei took a glance, and it was indeed the one who took the most photos with Grandpa. But at this moment, there was also a man and a woman in the compartment, who looked to be in their 40s. Could they be Meng Zihu's children? "Brother," at this time, Su Jiao pointed to the empty compartment next door. Su Wei immediately understood and nodded, and the brother and sister bowed and sat in. As for Chen Long and Wei Qiang, they quietly retreated after receiving Su Wei's signal. "Mom, I really don't know what you want. I'm from the countryside, I don't have a house or a car, I can't even afford a nanny. Are you going to serve him?" As soon as Su Wei and Su Jiao sat down, they heard the woman's sarcastic words. Su Jiao wanted to rush over at that time, but was held down by Su Wei. "You, how many times do I have to say it before you believe it? Brother Su and I are just friends who can chat with each other, not what you think." Meng Zihu's voice was angry and anxious. "Yes, Zihu and I just chat with each other, and I don't have any extra thoughts, you can rest assured." The voice of Mr. Su was very calm, with a sense of family. "You call me so intimately, and you still say it's nothing. Old man, please don't treat us like fools, okay? Who doesn't know your little calculations? Aren't you just thinking about my mother's property and wanting your descendants to get it without working? I tell you, dream on. I have never seen such a shameless person," the woman said in an unyielding tone. "Zhu Qing, are you talking like a human being?" Meng Zihu stood up angrily and pointed at the woman and said loudly. Mom, don't be angry. Wife, you have something to say nicely too." The middle-aged man hurriedly grabbed Meng Zihu and gave his wife a fierce look. But his eyes were full of admiration. He was Meng Zihu's son Cheng Wei. "Huh, am I wrong?" The woman called Zhu Qing was even more unscrupulous after being encouraged by this. As she said that, she rolled her eyes at the calm and composed old man Su. "Zhu Qing," Meng Zihu was so angry that her face turned red. Okay, I won't say anything, okay." Seeing that the old man was really angry, Zhu Qing quickly gave in, but his snobbish eyes did not forget to give the man a look. "Hey, Mom," although Zhu Qing's words are a bit harsh, they are not without reason. "Mom, look, although our Chang family's Fuwang construction company is not a big company in Huatou City, its quarterly turnover is tens of millions. If his family knew about it, they would come to us for help and borrow money every few days. Do you think we should take care of it?" "Don't care, it won't sound good if it is spread out. If you take care of it, it's a bottomless pit. Put it even worse, what will happen to the inheritance when you two pass away in the future, isn't it? These are all very troublesome things." What Cheng Wei said was not much better. "Haha, young man. My children and grandchildren have hands and feet, and they can support themselves. You don't have to worry about this." Old Master Su laughed loudly, interrupting Cheng Wei's words, and at the same time stopped Meng Zihu who wanted to curse. Chapter 141, A Money-Spending Thing. "Zihu, although we are upright and have nothing to fear, for the sake of family peace, I think it is better not to meet in the future," Old Master Su continued. "Brother Su, I'm sorry to upset you." Meng Zihu looked at Old Master Su with an apologetic look. She never expected her son and daughter-in-law to be like this. "Haha, you are so old, you have seen everything. In addition, I would like to advise you that money is something outside of your body, so don't take it too seriously." After saying this, Old Master Su stood up and prepared to leave. "Bah! You talk so high-soundingly, but in fact, it's because we hit the nail on the head and you want to run away. If it weren't for your age, I would have called the police to arrest you long ago." After hearing what Old Master Su said, Zhu Qing was furious. A country bumpkin dared to teach him a lesson. "How dare you?" Old Master Su roared like a tiger, shaking the air around him. "What do you want to do, old man? Shut up." Zhu Qing was frightened and jumped up in anger, but before he could finish his words, he was interrupted by a cold scolding. Looking around, he saw a young man and a young woman appear at the door, staring at Cheng Wei and his wife. It was Su Wei and his sister. "Who are you? I tell you, it's best not to meddle in other people's business. Be careful not to get into trouble." Zhu Qing, who was frightened one after another, felt very embarrassed, and rushed up to yell at the two. "Get out!" Su Wei didn't even look at Zhu Qing, and pulled Su Jiao to the old man Su and called him Grandpa. "Great! The upper beam is not straight, and the lower beam is crooked. It turns out that you even brought a little one with you. What? Have you been ready to recognize your relatives since early in the morning? I see you, there's no way slap." Just when Zhu Qing was scolding happily, her husband Cheng Wei suddenly stepped forward, raised his hand, and slapped her in the face. You? Zhu Qing was stunned on the spot. Such an unexpected reversal surprised everyone present. Did Cheng Wei take the wrong medicine? Su, President Su. I'm sorry, I didn't discipline him strictly. I'm sorry. After beating him, Cheng Wei immediately rushed to Su Wei and bowed 90 degrees to apologize with a look of trepidation. Do you know me? Su Wei, who was furious, was slightly stunned. Yes, I had the honor of meeting President Su once in Zhuhai Industrial Park, but there were too many people at that time, so I couldn't visit him in person. I'm sorry, Cheng Wei was sweating profusely. His company contracted the project of Zhuhai Industrial Park, which is one of the best businesses in Huatou City. If this matter is not handled well today, not to mention the project, even the company may be in danger. Guo's previous experience is obvious to all. Yes, Fuwang Construction, right? I remember it. Su Wei glanced at Cheng Wei coldly and ignored him. Grandpa, let's go home. We're all waiting for you to have dinner together. Su Wei turned around and looked at his grandfather with a smile on his face. Let's go home for dinner. Grandpa Su happily took the hands of his eldest grandson and granddaughter and said, Grandpa Su, oh, no, Grandpa Su, why didn't you say it earlier? Look at what this has become. Cheng Wei quickly aimed at Grandpa Su and kept winking at his mother. Unfortunately, the latter turned her head and pretended not to see it. Say it earlier? What did you say earlier? Grandpa Su looked curious. You said you were the old man of Zhuhai Group. Cheng Wei was so anxious that he was a little incoherent. No, you're wrong. Zhuhai Group is my eldest grandson's, not mine. I'm just an ordinary person who came from the countryside to live in the city, Grandpa Su said with a smile on his face, and then he took Su Wei and Su Jiao out. Oh, right, as I said before, money is something outside of one's body, so don't take it too seriously. Before leaving, Old Master Su said this without even turning his head. It's over. Cheng Wei fell to the ground, his face as pale as death. The current Zhuhai Group is a behemoth, and it's as easy to crush Fuwang Company as to crush an ant. Husband, is he really the chairman of the Zhuhai Group? Until this moment, Zhu Qing still looked unconvinced. Yes, Cheng Wei nodded bitterly. Zhu Qing was almost scared to death. It's all because of you, a prodigal. Looking at the stunned Zhu Qing, Cheng Wei was immediately furious and hit his wife on the head. If she hadn't been gossiping all day long, he wouldn't have bothered with this matter. Husband, don't hit me, I was wrong. Zhu Qing knew that she had caused a big disaster, and she didn't dare to resist. She just held her head and begged for mercy. Okay, don't you feel ashamed? Meng Zihu said hatefully, and then got up and left. Mom, Cheng Wei hurriedly followed him out. If you want to save the company, I'm afraid you have to ask the old lady to help. Husband, Mom. Zhu Qing also hurriedly chased after him. When Su Wei and the old man returned home, they started a sumptuous dinner directly. The family was happy. What happened just now seemed to have never happened. However, Su Wei still took the time to go out and call Xia Wei, telling her what happened tonight, demanding a complete cessation of cooperation with Fuwang Construction, and requiring them to withdraw tomorrow. Grandpa is generous and doesn't argue with them, but Su Wei is not that tolerant. Besides, this kind of character cannot be recognized by Su Wei. After hearing this, Xia Wei was also very annoyed and decided to teach Fuwang a painful lesson. Su Wei did not object, as he always trusted Xia Wei to do things. After that, the two chatted for a few more words before hanging up the phone. After dinner, the family gathered in the living room to drink water and chat. The most talked about topic was naturally the fun of traveling. The little girl Su Jiao was distracted by the chat and regretted not going to find her parents. However, even if she came again, she would not really go. After all, this was considered a honeymoon trip for Su's father and mother. They talked until very late, and everyone was ready to go back to their rooms to rest. At this time, Su Wei took out 5 groups of strengthening potions from levels 1 to 3, and distributed them to each person, telling them that this was a new potion developed by a friend that could strengthen human physique. Safe, fast, and without side effects. He also told everyone the precautions after taking it. Hearing that she could become stronger after taking it, Su Jiao was so happy that she couldn't wait, but Su Wei still asked her to go back to her room to use it. After all, after taking it, there will be severe pain and sweating, and even dirt will be discharged. So, everyone returned to the room with great curiosity. Everyone was in good health, except Fang Kai-Okao, who was a little malnourished. But during the time in Yunshujian, she had been conditioned and began to get better slowly. So there was no need to take life potions to repair the body. In addition to treating diseases, life potions also have a very powerful hidden attribute, which is that they can prolong life. But this attribute can only take effect once on the human body, so if you can avoid using it, don't use it. Wait until you need it and take it. It can at least prolong your life by 10 years. Isn't this better? Chapter 142. There is another secret. Knock, knock. Late at night, there was a low knock on the door of Mr. Su's room. Father, are you asleep? It was the voice of Su Jinkei, the father of Su, but it was deliberately suppressed. Come in, the voice of Mr. Su rang, penetrating the door and reaching the ears of Su's father. Su opened the door gently, walked in, and closed it again. In the room, Mr. Su was sitting on a chair by the window. On the table in front of him were 3 amber potions, none of which were missing. Father, what do you think of this potion? Su's father asked the old man. Have you used it? The old man asked instead of answering. I have used it, and it does have the effect of strengthening the body, and the effect is surprisingly good. Su's father nodded and replied. Well, this is no longer very effective for me. You should keep it for now. Maybe you can use it in the future. The old man picked up the 3 potions in front of him and handed them to Su's father. After Su's father took it, he carefully put it in his pocket. Father, who do you think gave Xiaohu the potion? Father Su asked solemnly. It's hard to say, maybe it was Xiaohu's personal opportunity. The old man shook his head slowly. This potion looked very much like the long-lost outer sect body refining secret medicine, but after a closer look, there were many differences. Will it be dangerous? Father Su looked concerned. If someone wanted to harm his son, he would make the other party pay a heavy price. Danger? Not for now. This potion is stable and powerful. There is no hidden danger, and Xiaohu's current strength is probably not inferior to yours, so he should have no problem protecting himself, the old man said with a smile. Hiss. Father Su couldn't help but take a breath of cold air when he heard it. Unknowingly, his son had grown to such a height. Alice. Things are unpredictable. I originally wanted you to live a peaceful life, but after a long detour, I'm back to the starting point. The old man looked at the moon outside the window and couldn't help but sigh. Should I tell Xiaohu? Not yet. Let's wait for the right time. Okay, it's late. Go back and rest. Yes, father. After saying that, Su's father left the old man's room. The old man was still sitting in front of the window looking at the bright moon in the night sky, with a hint of nostalgia in his eyes. Dad, did you sleep well last night? In the early morning, Su Wei met Su's father doing morning exercises in the yard. Well, very good. I feel that my strength has increased a lot, and I was particularly energetic when punching this morning, Su's father said and waved his fists twice. That's good, you will be even more powerful in the future. By the way, Dad, you can teach Mom a few tricks when you have time, just as a way to strengthen your body, Su Wei suggested. Well, I understand, Su's father nodded after hearing this. No one knows his son better than his father. Although his son didn't say anything, the bodyguards and potions were all used, and the purpose was self-evident. As they spoke, the father and son began to practice against each other. After listening to the old man's evaluation of his son last night, Su's father secretly increased his strength. Sure enough, all of them were taken over by Su Wei one by one. This surprised and gratified Su's father, and he had to admire that his son's qualifications were indeed much better than his. Little did he know that Su Wei didn't even use 1/3 of his strength, otherwise Su's father would be shocked. During the sparring, Su Jiao brought Fang Kai-Okao to join in. The increase in strength made the little girl very excited. She chased her brother and beat him heartily, and quickly mastered the newly acquired strength. At this time, Su Wei proposed that Su Jiao teach Fang Kai-Okao to fight. It doesn't matter how powerful it is, At least she has some self-protection ability. For a while, everyone practiced martial arts and enjoyed it. The following days returned to the calm of the past. The old man still ran to Xianhui Garden, drinking, playing chess, and boxing. Su Jiao and Fang Kaiokao were about to start school, and Su's father and mother temporarily cancelled their plans to go out and accompany them. After school starts, they will plan to go out for a trip. He Shuang and her studio were busy participating in the Xianlei's Heian competition. They had already passed a national audition. This was the most prestigious music competition in Xia country. If they could win the championship, they would become famous overnight. Ziwei Group continued to develop in its own way. Since the market was basically domestic and friendly third countries, the sanctions jointly launched by the United States were almost useless. This made the United States furious, and threatened to take more severe measures to make Ziwei bow her head. But the Great Xia country was not a pushover, and strongly condemned the hegemony of the United States in diplomacy. At the same time, several upgraded weapons were announced, which immediately shut up the United States. The first one announced was a radar system called Skynet V, equipped with a nanoscale hydrogen-based chip, with a computing speed 4 times faster than before, and able to capture smaller targets more quickly. The second was a long-range ballistic missile called Peace Guard, which used the latest metal hydrogen as the core explosive, with a power 10 times that of conventional ballistic missiles, and without any radiation pollution. Finally, there is an electromagnetic gun named Xiansu 1.0. The official data is not much, but in terms of range and power, it has surpassed the electromagnetic gun being developed by the United States. The United States was silent, and the younger brothers who followed him panicked. You know, the revenge of the Great Xia Kingdom is very heavy. Without the suppression of the United States, it might be retaliated against. As a result, some small countries have changed sides and lifted the restrictions on Ziwei and Huaiao. This allows Xiaguo to export its products to more countries. Suwei is busy between the two worlds. In addition to scrambling for materials, he constantly moves the required technology and equipment back to the modern world. As the number of products increases and the production capacity is saturated, he asked you not to continue searching for super compressors and wave engraving machines. After finding them, he went to get them. The appearance of Thor has been fully restored, and the emblem of Phaeton has been sprayed on the body, and it is completely unrecognizable from the original appearance. In addition, after debugging by Fang Yunzi, a weapons expert, the overall performance of Thor has increased by 15%. What does this mean? Thor's power will also increase by 15%. This is terrifying. However, the demand for lightning crystal souls will also increase, but it is definitely worth the money. Therefore, hunting lightning mutant beasts and lightning alien species has become the current top priority of the base. On this day, Suwei drove the big guy as usual, dragging a truck of supplies to the Phaeton base. After saying hello to Guard Yu, Suwei drove the big guy directly to the warehouse. After the warehouse workers carefully disinfected, they opened the hatch to move the supplies. Suwei stood aside to rest, and while it was still early, he wanted to make a few more trips. At this moment, Aunt Wu ran to him in a panic. "Boss, it's bad, something happened." "Huh? What happened?" "Xiaobei is back, but it's injured." "What?" If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143 Savior. Suwei followed Wu Ma to the Bloody Rose station and saw Xiaobai lying on the ground with the wounds all over his body, gasping for breath. Those wounds looked like they were bitten by some wild beast. The originally pure white long hair was stained red and purple by blood, which made Suwei feel distressed. He quickly sent someone to get some frozen fish from the freezer. Smelling the smell, the weak Xiaobai immediately opened his eyes and ate the frozen fish. Hundreds of kilograms of frozen fish were swallowed into his stomach in the blink of an eye. The food was slowly digested and absorbed, and Xiaobai's spirits improved a bit, and he howled at Suwei. But when he got the frozen fish again, he didn't eat a single bite. "Did Xiaobai bring anything with him?" Suwei asked Wu Ma with a puzzled look on his face. "No. The guard found him at the door, and he was already exhausted at the time." Wu Ma comforted Xiaobai with a distressed look on her face, But Xiaobai became more and more impatient. Ao. Xiaobai struggled to get up, walked to Suwei, bit the corner of his clothes with his mouth, and dragged him out. You want me to go with you? Suwei suddenly realized. Ao. Xiaobai barked twice and nodded humanely. Damn, is this guy going to become a spirit? Not good, maybe Zhang Ling is a threat. Suwei's heart trembled. Xiaobai's abnormality could only mean that his master was in great danger. Let's go find her now. Wu Ma and others gathered immediately. Don't panic, gather at the gate in 10 minutes. After Suwei finished speaking, he ran towards the armed department. 10 minutes later, Wu Ma brought 7 or 8 people to the gate, fully armed, and Suwei was already waiting there with his men. He called in Su Xiaodong and the 2nd Special Operations Team, and also called in 3 vehicles, one of which was an extended pickup truck, which allowed Xiaobai to lie in the truck bed to recuperate and rely on its reaction to locate the direction. Suwei stayed in the truck bed with Xiaobai. Xiaobai seemed to understand Suwei's operation, propped up his front legs, and barked twice towards the north. Bang bang! Suwei immediately slapped the car compartment vigorously and shouted to the cab, northeast direction, set off, boom boom. The extended pickup truck immediately roared and rushed out, and the other 2 modified off-road vehicles ran wildly behind. After half a day, the convoy was forced to stop. Because the direction Xiaobai pointed out was separated by a river. There was a huge tree lying on the river, connecting the 2 banks. People and animals could pass through, but the car could not drive over. Get off the car and walk. Suwei glanced around. The river stretched for miles and there was no end in sight. Hearing the order, everyone jumped out of the car, and Xiaobai followed Suwei. After half a day, Xiaobai didn't look so weak anymore. Park the cars together, and then cut branches to cover them. Unless you look for them deliberately, it will be difficult to be discovered. Soon, the team was on the road again. Following the fallen giant tree, they came to the other side of the river. After crossing the river, Xiaobai looked around, sniffed, and chose a direction to jump out. Suwei and others hurriedly followed. If you often walk by the river, you will get your shoes wet. Soon, everyone encountered sporadic attacks by zombies and mutant beasts. Anxious Suwei ordered full firepower and rushed all the way. Anyway, there are ruins along the way, and you can find any excuse to get supplies. At dusk when the sun was about to set, Xiaobai stopped in a valley. There was a fallen signal tower here, and there were several human corpses wearing armor and several gray giant wolf corpses around. All of them were killed by a single shot to the head, obviously by the hands of one person. It's the Tyrannosaurus Rex's wolf cavalry. Suwei's face changed. These people were dressed just like Ma Xiao's men. The question is, how could they have a conflict? They are not related at all. Boss, I only found this. Soon, Su Xiaodong came over with half a bloody leather sleeve in his hand. It's hers, that's right. Suwei's pupils shrank. He took it and looked carefully. It was the sleeve of Zhang Ling's leather jacket. It looked like it was torn off by a giant wolf. Whose bloodstains belonged to? The searchers gradually returned and found nothing else. Judging from the scene, the battle must have been very fierce, but it was impossible to tell which side won. The wasteland is so big that it is 1,000 times harder to find a person than to find a needle in a haystack. AWW. Just when everyone was at a loss, Xiaobai's cry came from the south side of the call. Let's go. Suwei rushed over in a hurry. Xiaobai sniffed the air and continued to run south. Suwei immediately realized that Xiaobai must have found Zhang Ling's trace. Follow me. Night fell gradually, and the air in the forest began to become moist and cold. In a cave, Zhang Ling, wearing a black leather jacket, was staring at the cave entrance intently, and the modified sniper rifle in his hand did not move at all. 2 days and 1 night of continuous fighting made her exhausted, but she still gritted her teeth and persisted. Even if she died, she would take someone with her. Zhang Ling, give up. If you surrender, I might be able to spare your life. At this time, the voice of persuading surrender came from the cave entrance again. If Suwei was here, he would definitely recognize that the owner of the voice was Ma Xiao. Bang! Zhang Ling's answer was very straightforward. She shot directly at the wolf cavalryman who showed his head slightly. The bullet flew away after a spark on the helmet. The wolf cavalryman was so scared that he dared not show his head again. He might not be so lucky next time. Outside the cave, a group of wolf cavalrymen surrounded them in a fan shape, and Ma Xiaoyu was among them. "Sister Yu, what should we do now?" Ma Xiaolin on the side couldn't help but ask. Since they found Zhang Ling's trace, they have lost dozens of wolf cavalrymen. Just when they thought they were about to succeed, the other party got into the cave in front of them. Although it was a dead end, the other party's shooting skills were too powerful. In this small space, the wolf cavalrymen had no advantage at all. I wanted to use smoke and fire, but the other party had ice power, so he could put out the fire in an instant. I tried almost every trick I could think of, but there was nothing I could do. Could I wait until the other party died in there? She's very powerful. She knows how to use all favorable conditions to inflict heavy damage on the enemy. If we can use her, then we will have a better chance in the future competition for the successor. Ma Xiaoyu looked eager to find talents. In the previous battle, Zhang Ling used the height of the abandoned signal tower to make the wolf cavalry helpless. It was not until they lost several lives that they pushed down the abandoned signal tower. Now, she used the cave again, perfectly interpreting the fighting style of using fewer people against more people. But it seems that she will never surrender, Ma Xiaolin complained. That's why I'm entangled. Should I blow up this cave directly? Ma Xiaoyu wanted to kill Zhang Ling directly, but she was reluctant. Chapter 144 Different Fireworks. Zhang Ling, I'll give you one last minute to think about it. Don't blame me for being ruthless then. As time passed, Ma Xiaoyu's expression gradually became resolute. Talents are good, but if they cannot be used for one's own benefit, they are enemies. When facing an enemy, one must kill him. As he spoke, Ma Xiaoyu raised his hand and waved. Several wolf riders jumped down and tied explosives to a mutant giant wolf. As soon as the time came, Ma Xiaoyu would drive the giant wolf into the cave, then activate the explosives and die with the enemy. In the cave, Zhang Ling was motionless like a sculpture, but a tear appeared in her eyes. Is this the end? To die in this unknown and strange place, no one cares. I wonder if Xiaobei escaped. Have you found him? What will happen if he knows? For some reason, at this moment, Zhang Ling's mind was full of Su Wei's figure. On weekdays, she hated the opposite sex the most, but at this moment she couldn't help but recall it. Recalling the scene of their first meeting, recalling his appearance when he gave her a big gift package, recalling the posture when she taught him to shoot, bit by bit, it was like a warm flame burning in her heart. Although I can't hear you, I still want to say thank you. Thank you for making me feel less lonely and cold before I leave, Zhang Ling whispered like a dream. 10,987 At this time, the death countdown began to sound. Ouch! Ma Xiaoyu frowned slightly, and the mutant giant wolf tied with explosives began to growl softly, digging the ground with its front paws, preparing to charge towards the cave entrance. 32 Bang! Suddenly, a low gunshot sounded, and the roaring giant wolf was instantly shot in the head, and fell to the ground without making a sound. He is coming. Zhang Ling in the cave couldn't help crying with joy, because she recognized that the gunshot was from the modified sniper she used before. Enemy attack! The outside of the cave was instantly in chaos. Ma Xiaolin pounced and pinned Ma Xiaoyu to the ground, and the other knights also looked for cover to avoid being sniped. Bang! 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 Crazy shooting sounds rang out all around. Although ordinary bullets have limited damage to enhancers and mutant beasts, they are too numerous, and under intensive shooting, there will always be a few stray bullets that will hit the eyes of people or giant wolves. No matter how enhanced, eyes cannot resist bullets. AWW. One of the mutant giant wolves was hit in the eye by a stray bullet, and the severe pain made it go crazy instantly. Several knights hiding behind it were instantly affected and trampled wildly. Metal armor has good defensive power, but at this moment it became a fatal injury. The collapsed part could not be restored, and the knight was crushed to death inside. The opponent's firepower was too strong, and the wolf cavalry had to retreat to avoid it. In the night, several soldiers in camouflage combat uniforms pressed up, and the machine guns in their hands kept spurting out flames, hitting the surrounding trees and making wood chips fly. HMPH. Damn it, Ma Xiaoyu was so angry that she gnashed her teeth. She didn't expect that the other party would come to reinforce at the critical moment. If she had known earlier, she should have gotten rid of Zhang Ling in advance. Hey, Sister Yu, Ma Xiaolin was not paying attention, and the angry Ma Xiaoyu accelerated and rushed towards the cave. At the same time, Su Wei's figure also rushed towards the cave, and arrived first. Zhang Ling, after shouting inside, Su Wei slowly explored the cave and saw Zhang Ling, who was in a mess, huddled in the innermost part, holding a sniper rifle in his hand and aiming at the cave entrance. "Zhang Ling, it's me, I'm Su Wei." Su Wei approached slowly, fearing that he would irritate Zhang Ling and shoot him. That would be the end of him. Finally, Su Wei's hand grabbed the sniper rifle and could feel Zhang Ling's firm will. "Okay, everything is over," Su Wei said very gently, and then he gently supported Zhang Ling's shoulders with his other hand. With a low groan, the sculpture-like Zhang Ling collapsed instantly. Su Wei quickly hugged her, his soft body seemed to have no bones. "Hold on tight, I'll take you home," Su Wei lowered his head and whispered in Zhang Ling's ear. "Yes," Zhang Ling's voice was barely audible, and her big dark eyes stared at Su Wei's face, as if to carve it into her soul. "Let's go." Su Wei picked up Zhang Ling with one hand, held the sniper rifle in the other hand, turned around and rushed towards the cave entrance. The special forces had suppressed the wolf cavalry to the other side of the cave entrance, and everyone's attention was focused on the exchange of fire between the two sides. The wolf cavalry did not have heavy firepower, but they carried flying spears made of special steel, and with the enhanced strength, their lethality was comparable to that of artillery shells. The two sides were immediately in a stalemate. Su Wei had just left the cave with Zhang Ling and was about to move closer to the special forces, when he suddenly felt a chill behind his head and a chill on his back. Without time to think, Su Wei dropped Zhang Ling's sniper rifle, and his whole body burst into flames, using the most powerful move of Bajiquan. Baji collapse. He released all his strength instantly, turned around and punched behind him, and his fist turned black instantly. Boom. A huge force came, and Su Wei was directly knocked back several meters, and his feet left two deep scratches on the hard rock ground. However, the steel spear that attacked them was also shattered by the huge recoil force, and disintegrated in the air before it hit the ground. Zhang Wei, Ma Xiaoyu, who was squatting above the cave entrance, was so scared that she almost fell to the ground when she saw the face of the person coming. "Isn't this guy dead? Why did he appear here?" "He, princess, was the gift last time, okay?" Su Wei shook his numb arm with a teasing look on his face. Fortunately, he had the death grip, so he was not hurt. In fact, Ma Xiaoyu was originally a 5th-level awakener, and her strength was comparable to Zhang Ling, otherwise she would not have forced Zhang Ling to this point. Su Wei was proud enough to take her hateful blow. "It's you, who are you?" Ma Xiaoyu's heart was bleeding when she heard Su Wei say that. The hatred of the destruction of the energy weapon was irreconcilable. "I am me, a different firework?" Su Wei opened his mouth. What the hell, there was obviously no such popular saying in the wasteland. Ma Xiaoyu was stunned and even thought about its meaning. Bang! Su Wei didn't care whether you were a firework or not. He pulled off the sniper rifle on his back and shot Ma Xiaoyu directly without aiming. Asshole! Ma Xiaoyu was so angry that she cursed and tried to twist her body to avoid a sweeping trajectory at an incredible angle. Zzz. I have to say that this girl's waist is really soft. It's broken in half. In vain, Su Wei took the opportunity to take Zhang Ling away from the battle group quickly and disappeared into the dark night. Sister you, Ma Xiaoyu chased after her, mainly because the opponent's firepower was too strong and she was suppressed several times. At this moment, seeing that Ma Xiaoyu was safe and sound, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. Damn it, I was tricked by that damn guy again. Looking at the direction where Su Wei disappeared, Ma Xiaoyu stomped her feet in hatred. Sister you, who is it? Ma Xiaoyu was puzzled. Haha, a very interesting guy, let's go, we can't stay here for long. Unexpectedly, Ma Xiaoyu's mouth corners suddenly raised, revealing a charming smile, giving people a feeling of blooming flowers. Looking at Ma Xiaoyu who turned and left, Ma Xiaoyu was confused. In just such a short moment, why did she feel like she had missed a century? Chapter 145 Return. When Su Wei retreated, Xiao Bei was the first to rush up, stretched his head over, sniffed Zhang Ling's face with his nose, and licked it with his tongue, but the other party did not react at all. Boss, how is Xiao Ling? Wu Ma rushed up and looked at the person in his arms nervously. Nothing serious, just a little exhausted, Su Wei answered softly, because the woman in his arms had fallen asleep. Then he stretched out his hand and pushed Xiao Bei's big head away. Although the latter was a little unhappy, she did not continue to interact with her master, but chose to follow Su Wei quietly. Oh, that's good, Wu Ma patted her chest and said with a look of relief. Boss, the Tyrannosaurus Rex's people have retreated. Should we chase them? At this time, Su Xiaodong ran over to report. No, we will retreat too. Su Wei shook his head, not wanting to cause any more trouble. Just now, he defeated the opponent by surprise, but the opponent's fighting power is still there, and chasing after them may not be beneficial. Yes, boss. Su Xiaodong hurried back to send a message. After a while, Wu Nan led his men to retreat. Under the cover of darkness, everyone slowly retreated back to the way they came. This time, thanks to Xiaobei, he led them to the vicinity of the cave and growled anxiously at the cave. This made Su Wei realize that Zhang Ling was hiding in the cave and stopped the self-detonating giant wolf in time. Otherwise, the consequences would be disastrous. Damn it, this little girl Ma is too cruel. If I catch her, I will beat her up so hard that she won't know why the flowers are so red. On the way, Su Wei couldn't help but think bitterly. In order to avoid accidents, Su Wei and his men walked slowly. When they encountered nocturnal mutant beasts, they mostly used cold weapons to deal with them, so as not to attract more predators. They walked until dawn before returning to the river. The bad thing was that the big tree that had originally fallen on the river surface was broken into 2 parts and soaked in the dark deep water. I don't know what happened here last night to be destroyed like this. Now no one knows what is hidden under the water, so it is not easy to wade. Everyone had to stop and cut wood in the nearby forest, and then drag it over to build a bridge. This is how the wasteland world is. The road you just walked today may not be safe tomorrow. Yet, while waiting, Zhang Ling in his arms woke up. You're awake. Are you feeling uncomfortable? Su Wei looked at the dazed Zhang Ling with joy. The sun just happened to shine on his face, emitting a soft glow. Ah, Zhang Ling jumped up almost as if she was electrocuted. Recalling that she had been held by him for a whole night, Zhang Ling suddenly blushed with shame. Such an expression appeared on the pretty face of 10,000 years of ice, which made her look even more attractive. But Zhang Ling, who jumped up, felt that her legs softened and fell to the ground again. Are you okay? Su Wei on the side hurriedly helped her sit down. No, it's okay. Zhang Ling hurriedly shook her head, feeling that the other party was too close, but strangely, she didn't feel disgusted in her heart. What happened? Such a strange feeling made Zhang Ling feel a little scared. Come on, eat, I see you're hungry. Su Wei quickly took out a few biscuits from his pocket. She had been chased by the wolf cavalry these days, and she had no time to escape. So how could she have time to eat a decent meal? Thank you. Zhang Ling took the biscuits that Su Wei stuffed over, and looking at the familiar look, she couldn't help but think of the scene when they first met. At that time, he was like a newborn baby, with ignorance written all over his face. But what she didn't expect was that in just a few months, he had grown to a height that she needed to look up to. Is the world unpredictable? Or is it fate? Eat quickly, we have to go on the road later. Here, drink some water first. Su Wei didn't know what she was thinking, and seeing that she was stunned and motionless, he took out another bottle of water. Zhang Ling ate the biscuits silently. By the way, how did you conflict with the Tyrannosaurus Rex's people? Su Wei asked with a puzzled look on his face. I don't know either. 2 days ago, I was hunting, and I was chased by that group of wolf cavalry, Zhang Ling said while eating in small bites. Oh, Su Wei nodded thoughtfully. As he was talking, the people who went to cut wood had returned. Dozens of enhancers worked together to drag back a tree with a diameter of 7 or 8 meters and a length of dozens of meters. The branches and leaves on it were extremely fresh. At the same time, a large number of vines were brought back. Everyone worked together to weave the vines into a thick long rope. One end was tied to the top of the giant tree, and the other end was held in the hands of several people. Then the giant tree was stood up, adjusted the direction, and then slowly lowered. The giant tree spanned the entire river. The whole process took less than an hour. It can be seen that the enhancer is equivalent to a human crane. After everyone successfully crossed the river, fortunately, the vehicle was still there. At noon, everyone returned to the Phaeton base. In this battle, no one died, only a few special forces were affected by the flying spears of the Wolf Knight, and some flesh injuries were caused. They can recover after 2 days of rest. It can be said that this battle was very tough. It also indirectly proved that Wang Bowen's training was very effective. A bottle of life potion was exchanged for a military expert and a weapons expert. It was really a treasure at the time. Brother Su Wei, the man has been caught. Su Wei had just sent Zhang Ling back to the Bloody Roses base when Yuna came over. Who is it? Su Wei's eyes suddenly tightened, revealing a murderous intent. Wei Dahei, Yuna said with hatred. At the beginning, he was spared a dog's life and was appointed as the deputy minister of the armed forces, but he didn't expect that he would be an ungrateful wolf. Is it him? Let's go and see. Su Wei's face sank, and he was also angry. He treated the world with sincerity, but the world had ulterior motives. As they talked, the two came to the prison of the base together. This was established not long ago, and Zhao Hu and others were imprisoned in it, and now there was another Wei Dahei. In the interrogation room, Su Wei saw Wei Dahei, who was escorted by 2 armed forces personnel. The remaining arm was tied to the anklet with an alloy chain, and the whole person was full of decadence. He was caught when he was out delivering a letter, and he also had information prepared for the Tyrannosaurus Rex, about the suspected possession of energy weapons by the Phaeton base. Wei Dahei, how much benefit did Tyrannosaurus Rex give you? Is it better than the deputy minister I gave you? Su Wei couldn't help asking. Betrayal definitely requires bargaining chips, but he couldn't think of anyone else who could give a higher bargaining chip than him in the end times. Boss, don't say anything, I did everything, you can kill me or chop me up, it's up to you. Wei Dahei didn't answer, but just looked like he was begging for death. Brother, he was originally a Tyrannosaurus Rex man, and his relatives are held by the other party. Yuna on the side leaned over to explain in Su Wei's ear. Hearing this, Su Wei couldn't help but frown. Human nature is really dark. Chapter 146 The truth comes out. Let me ask you another question. Why did the Tyrannosaurus Rex's people chase Zhang Ling? Su Wei thought for a moment and then asked. Because she leaked the plan to attack Phaeton, causing the princess and her group to suffer heavy losses, Wei Dahei answered woodenly. Is this also the news you sent out? Su Wei's eyes turned cold. Yes, it's a pity that during the snake fighting operation, I was sent to the sub-base for mobilization and failed to obtain information in time, otherwise you would not be able to come back, Wei Dahei said with a look of regret, as if he was very dissatisfied with his masterpiece. Asshole, Su Wei kicked the iron table away in anger, and the flying debris scratched a bloody mark on Wei Dahei's face. You can only jump around for a few more days, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex will definitely bring people to wipe you out. The stinging pain of the wound did not make Wei Dahei feel afraid, but instead showed a fanatical attitude and shouted at Su Wei. Humph, it's a pity that you can't see it. In the name of the leader of the base, I declare you dead. After Su Wei finished speaking, he took Yuna out of the prison. In the afternoon, Wei Dahei was pushed to the execution ground, becoming the first person sentenced to death since the establishment of Phaeton. After Yuna read out Wei Dahei's crimes in public, the crowd was angry. This bastard is really bad. He didn't want to live on such a good day, but he wanted to join forces with Tyrannosaurus Rex to attack. With Tyrannosaurus Rex coming, can they still have a good life? Such a traitor should be beaten to death. So, before the armed personnel took action, the survivors rushed up and beat Wei Dahei to death alive. Seeing this, Su Wei couldn't help but shout, water can carry a boat, but it can also overturn it. Ordinary people will also have incredible power after an outbreak. After dealing with the base, Su Wei returned to the modern world. He had asked Qin Lao to see Zhang Ling. There was nothing serious, but it would take some time to recuperate. When Su Wei returned to Yunshujian, he saw that the door of courtyard number 3 was open. He walked in and saw that Shuang and the others were all there. Hey! Shuang, didn't you go to participate in the competition? Why are you all back? Su Wei asked curiously. The main competition of Xian Leizian is held in Tacheng. According to the date, it should not end until next week. Don't mention it, Mei Hongfeng said helplessly. Shuang lowered her head and said nothing. Did you fail in the competition? What does it matter? If you can't do it this year, you can continue next year. After all, this competition is too rushed for you. Su Wei hurriedly comforted them. We won, and we got the right to the finals in advance, a girl said unwillingly. The others heard the words but did not feel the joy of victory. Instead, they showed more lost expressions. Isn't it good to win? Why do you look so sad after winning? Su Wei asked with a puzzled look. It should have been a good thing, but the title song we reserved was bought by someone. Without a new song to show, it's better not to participate in the finals next week, Mei Hongfeng explained dejectedly. Huh? How could this happen? Su Wei immediately smelled a scent of conspiracy. It's Helen International. Shuang finally spoke, but she was in a very low mood. Is it Liu Bowen or Zhang Nianlin? Su Wei asked coldly. Both. They first tried to stop us from participating in the competition in the name of sponsors, and then it was Mr. He who came forward to resolve the matter. Now that they see the popularity of our Angel Studio has skyrocketed, they ran to poach people and bought the copyright of our new song at a high price. Mei Hongfang answered for He Shuang. Last time when they obstructed the studio's registration, she wanted to tell Su Wei about it, but He Shuang didn't want to bother him with these trivial matters, so she never said it. Unexpectedly, the other party is so excessive now, and it is clear that they want to destroy Angel Studio. Wouldn't it be enough to find someone to write another song? Su Wei couldn't help but be speechless when he heard this. Could it be that Angel Studio has no money? If it has no money, they can ask him for it. He is also a major shareholder. Okay. There is no time, and what's more, Helen International will definitely use dirty tricks to make us have no songs to sing. Mei Hongfang shook her head. Less than a week. There is no time to write lyrics, arrange music, and practice. That's easy, isn't it? Just a song. I'll do it for you. Su Wei smiled when he heard it. This is not a case of falling asleep and hitting the pillow. Last time, I was going to give it to He Shuang, but I was delayed by other things. Everyone was stunned when they heard it. This boss is going to be great. He can even do a song. A friend of mine did it for his own entertainment. Listen to it first. Su Wei took out his mobile phone and shared the song Angel from the bracelet. The melodious prelude sounded, which immediately attracted everyone's attention. Snow White wings, perfect face. In an instant, I was captured by you from the mobile phone. An ethereal female voice came, singing a graceful song. It immediately brought people into a space of infinite reverie. There is the smoke of the battlefield, the brilliance of magic, and the roar of the devil. The melodious voice suddenly rose, performing in a loud scale. Suddenly, a ray of light descended from the sky, healing the battlefield, annihilating magic, and sealing the devil. The artistic conception was ever-changing. It can be said that this song sings out the inner desires of different people. Different people will have different understandings after hearing it. The song, which lasted more than 5 minutes, seemed to be gone in a blink of an eye. After the lingering sound, the courtyard was quiet for a long time. The people immersed in fantasy couldn't extricate themselves. How is it? Does it sound okay? After a long time, Su Wei asked with a smug look on his face. What is the concept of a song that shocked musicians? Boss, is your friend a world-class master? Mei Hongfang was the first to react. She looked at Su Wei with a shocked face, and her two big eyes were filled with unspeakable ecstasy. No, it's just a hobby. Su Wei touched his head awkwardly and said. This pretense seems to be too much. Mei Hongfang was completely speechless. Does such a person really exist? However, the world is so big that nothing is impossible. All living beings have nothing to desire. Su Wei, can you really give us this song? He Shuang's eyes lit up with 1,000-foot light, as if nothing could stop it. Of course, even the copyright of this song can belong to Angel Studio. Su Wei smiled and nodded when he heard it. Everyone screamed in shock. This song is a divine song. If it really belongs to Angel Studio, it will definitely become the studio's battle song and become famous. Su Wei, did you spend a lot of money on this? He Shuang couldn't help but said with an embarrassed look. She is an expert. Just from the majestic reverberation of this song, she knows that it is definitely from the hands of a master. Such works are often exquisite and worth a lot of money. Everything is worth it, Su Wei explained vaguely. He didn't spend a penny, it was free. Okay. Thank you, Su Wei. He Shuang couldn't help but pounce on Su Wei and kissed his lips. Wow, Mei Hongfang and others were very excited. Chapter 147, Stygia. The heavy stone weighing on their hearts was gone. Everyone's mood instantly became very good. Su Wei sent the song to He Shuang's mobile phone. He Shuang immediately proposed to go to the studio to practice over time. The others also looked enthusiastic. So Su Wei was drafted to help drive them to the studio. Su Wei, thank you so much, you helped me a lot again this time. Before leaving, He Shuang saw Su Wei out. Why are you being so polite to me? Su Wei scratched He Shuang's little nose, which was pink and tender and felt very good. Alice, you always have to solve the problem. Am I stupid? I can't share your burden. He Shuang looked frustrated. When she thought of Xiao Wei, who independently supported Zhuyi Group, she felt ashamed. Silly, everyone has their own areas of expertise, and your specialty is singing. You just need to be at ease and sing well. I'll take care of the rest. Su Wei smiled and stretched out his hand to rub the soft long hair on He Shuang's head. But He Shuang was still a little entangled. No buts. When something is done to the extreme, there will be a different world. Work hard, we are all waiting for the day when you bloom. Su Wei directly interrupted He Shuang's self-deprecation. Well, I will definitely work hard. He Shuang immediately became full of fighting spirit and said with both hands clenched into fists. By the way, I have a potion to strengthen the body. After taking it, it can not only greatly improve physical fitness, but also improve personal talents. You drink it, and the championship next week will definitely be you, Su Wei said and took out a level 1 strengthening potion. This I don't want it, He Shuang suddenly refused. Oh why? Su Wei was confused. No, Su Wei, don't get me wrong, I just want to rely on my own strength to win this game. No matter what the result is, I won't regret it, He Shuang explained quickly. According to Su Wei, the potion will optimize and perfect her vocal cords, making her singing voice more invincible. But she doesn't want to do this. At least not yet. Not bad, very confident. This is our Hada campus spell. I'll take this potion back first, and give it to you when you come back after being crowned. Su Wei took the potion. Thank you, He Shuang was deeply moved by Su Wei's understanding. You're welcome. I'm leaving first, practice singing well, and we will all cheer for you in the finals. Well, I will definitely work hard. He Shuang looked at the gradually receding back and made up her mind secretly. In the past, she just wanted to sing the songs that her mother liked, but now she has another goal, that is, to let the name of Angel resound through the world. After leaving the Angel studio, Su Wei went straight to the Ziwei headquarters. As the construction of Ziwei Industrial Park progressed, most people moved there. Even Xiaowei is planning to move next month. This place will be completely vacant. However, Su Wei has decided to renew the lease and keep it for Angel Studio. Boss Su, as soon as he arrived at the door, Wang Na came to greet him. Is Sister Wei here? Su Wei asked casually, so as not to come back empty-handed. Yes, Boss Su, Wang Na nodded. Okay, I'll go find her myself, you go about your business. Okay, Boss Su. After saying goodbye to Wang Na, Su Wei went straight to the president's office. Su Wei. At the door of the president's office, someone called him, not knowing whether it was Shangwen Fair or Shangwen Weiner. Su Wei was a little confused. The two of them were cut from the same mold, and ordinary people couldn't tell them apart at all. I'm Fair, Shangwen Fair introduced herself. Oh, Fair. Do you have something to talk to me about? Su Wei looked curious. The two sisters usually hide in the dark and rarely show up. Come with me, Shangwen Fair said and turned to leave. Su Wei had no choice but to follow them. Su Wei, a few days ago, did you see a man with a pair of pistols, and did you fight with him? Shangwen Fair asked when they came to a secluded stairwell. Yes, a few days ago, when Sister Wei and I went to Beijing, we did see him, and we had a fight, Su Wei said without hiding anything. It is estimated that many people know about this matter, so there is no need to hide it. Where is that man? Shangwen Fair asked. How do I know? He ran away after being injured by me. Su Wei looked calm. Are you sure you didn't kill him? Shangwen Fair asked solemnly. No, Su Wei didn't even blink. Huh? Shangwen Fair obviously breathed a sigh of relief. What's wrong? You are so startled. Su Wei couldn't help but smile. This man is called Ming Qiang, and he is Ghostblade's senior brother. Someone sent a letter to their master Qin Jian, saying that you not only killed Ghostblade, but also Ming Qiang. Qin Jian behaves strangely, and is particularly protective of his shortcomings. He will definitely be against you, but as long as you don't kill anyone, our Zanlong can mediate, Shangwen Fair explained. Qin Jian? Is he very powerful? Su Wei couldn't help asking when he saw Shangwen Fair so nervous. Of course he is powerful. He was already a king-level grandmaster 10 years ago. It is said that he is now only one step away from comprehending the emperor level. Shangwen Fair had a serious expression on his face. King? Emperor? Su Wei couldn't help but wonder if he could handle it now. Su Wei, although Zanlong can mediate, Qin Jian can't be argued with all the time. For Zanlong's sake, he may just not kill you. If your family elders are senior enough, you might as well come out and talk to Qin Jian. Seeing Su Wei's eager expression, Shangwen Fair reminded him. Anything else? Su Wei nodded to indicate that he knew. No more, Shangwen Fair said unhappily. How can this person not know how to be anxious? It's true that the emperor is not anxious, but the eunuch is. Thank you, I'll treat you to dinner when I'm free, Su Wei said and turned to leave. Shang Wenfei was left sulking in the same place. Sister, why are you still here? It's so hard for me to find you. A few minutes later, the identical Shang Wenwei came over. The two of them can be seen to be different when they are together. Shang Wenfei is more mature and stable, while Shang Wenwei is more clever and active. Why are you here? Shouldn't you stay at your post? Shang Wenfei asked with a straight face. No, I'm afraid of getting sty, Shang Wenwei said angrily. Seeing Su Wei and Xia Wei being intimate in the office, she couldn't stay there. Thinking of those scenes that were not suitable for children, her little face couldn't help but blush. Okay, Shang Wenfei couldn't help but feel her heart beating like a deer. By the way, sister, have you asked Su Wei? Shang Wenwei changed the subject. What? Shang Wenfei was confused. It's about how Sister Wei became stronger in just one night. Shang Wenwei had a look of disgust on her face. They had been confused about this for a long time. They asked Xia Wei privately, but she said she didn't know. Ah, I forgot. Shang Wenfei remembered it and patted her head in annoyance. It was all Su Wei's fault for disrupting her train of thought. Humph. You are such an unreliable elder sister, Shang Wenwei immediately attacked. Try to say that again. Shang Wenfei was immediately furious. Lululul. Shang Wenwei stuck out her tongue, turned around and ran away. Don't run. Let me teach you a lesson. Shang Wenfei rolled up her sleeves and chased after her. Chapter 148 Visitors. After spending an afternoon in the president's office, Su Wei and Xia Wei went back to Yunshujian to rest. When the car drove to the front door, two people suddenly rushed out from the green belt beside, forcing Su Wei to stop the car urgently. Looking closely, it turned out to be Cheng Wei and Zhu Qing from Fuwang Construction Company. The couple was dusty and embarrassed. Are you two looking for death? Su Wei lowered the car window and yelled at the two with an unhappy face. Mr. Su, Mr. Xia, we know we are wrong. Please, have mercy and treat us as a fart. Mr. Su, please forgive us this time, and we will definitely change our ways in the future. Zhu Qing knelt down and begged for mercy. Cheng Wei also hurriedly followed. In just a few days, they were not only expelled from Ziwei Industrial Park, but also their peers cut off contact with them. Seeing that the company was going to go bankrupt, they could no longer sit still and ran to find Mr. Su to plead for mercy. But Mr. Su didn't care at all. The person who tied the bell must be found to untie it, so this matter has to be solved by Su Wei. But Su Wei didn't show up for several days, and Xia Wei often worked overtime at the company, so they didn't have the chance to meet. There was really no other way, so the two of them made up their minds to wait at the gate of Yunshujian. Today, Xia Wei's car finally came back, and fortunately, Su Wei was also in the car. Humph, Zui will not cooperate with people with such low moral character. You should go back, Su Wei replied with a cold face. I dare not, I dare not. I just hope that Zui will not sanction us again. Yes, we just want a way to survive, and we dare not ask for anything else, Cheng Wei pleaded, and Zhu Qing quickly agreed. Now her biggest hope is to be able to save her life. Sorry, Zui will not sanction anyone. I think you found the wrong person. After Su Wei finished speaking, he started the car and drove towards the gate. Cheng Wei and his wife wanted to chase, but were stopped by the security personnel who rushed over. You two, the area ahead is a private residential area. Please do not enter without permission. No, please don't. Cheng Wei and the other man collapsed to the ground like a deflated ball. This was completely over. Sister Wei, what did you do? You made them feel like a lost dog. In the car, Su Wei couldn't help but ask Xia Wei. Nothing, just doing business as usual. I checked the projects that Fuwang Construction Company was responsible for, delayed construction period, quality defects, bribery of project leaders. In short, Fuwang has been blacklisted, and naturally someone will take care of him. Xia Wei waved her hand and said insignificantly. Awesome. Su Wei couldn't help but give a thumbs up. Pa, are you praising me? Or insulting me? Xia Wei rolled her eyes at Su Wei. Of course I'm praising you, humph. I don't believe you. From then on, Fuwang Construction Company disappeared silently. But Xia Wei left a bottom line and did not let it go bankrupt. The Chang family also wisely moved out of Hulu City and sought development elsewhere. When Su Wei and Xia Wei returned to courtyard number 1, the courtyard was very lively, and Sue's mother's cheerful laughter could be heard from time to time. "Are there guests?" The two walked in with questions. They saw Sue's father, Sue's mother, Su Jiao, Fang Kai Okao sitting together, and the tour guide Liu Min, who they had met once. Several people were sitting together, discussing something, talking and laughing. "Brother, sister Wei, come quickly." Su Jiao was the first to see Su Wei and Xiao Wei coming in, and stood up to pull the two into the circle. "Sister Liu, this is my brother you have met, and this is my sister Xiao Wei," Su Jiao introduced to Liu Minimum. "Mr. Su, Miss Xia, hello." Liu Min greeted the two with a smile on her face. "Hello, what are you talking about? You look so happy." After pulling Xiao Wei to sit down, Su Wei asked casually. "Xiao Min is introducing us to some tourist attractions abroad. Look, these are all Xiao Min's travel diaries, which look very interesting." Su's mother looked envious. She pointed to a tablet on the table, on which there was a photo of Liu Min and a kangaroo, with a grassland at dusk as the background, which looked very beautiful. "Well, it does look beautiful," Su Wei couldn't help but nod in agreement. At this time, Xiao Wei quietly reached out and pinched his thigh. Turning her head, the woman's eyes had a hint of vinegar. Ahem, the scenery of Austria is indeed beautiful." Su Wei hurriedly changed his words to explain. He was originally praising the scenery, but Liu Min's presence in the photo naturally caused ambiguity. "Haha, thank you for the compliment. I also think the scenery of Austria is beautiful." Liu Min giggled and didn't care. "Xiao Wei, Xiao Liu introduced us to Austria for a trip. What do you think?" Su's mother looked at her son expectantly. This Su Wei looked at his father. "Xiao, you make the decision on this matter," Father Su said calmly. "Mom, let's travel domestically for now. As for going abroad, I'll go with you after a while." "Okay," Su Wei politely refused. The United States hates Ziwei to the core now, and it may not be safe to go abroad rashly. "Okay. I'll listen to my son, Xiao Liu. Thank you for your hard work. Let's make an appointment next time." Although Mother Su was a little disappointed, traveling was not a necessary thing, so she naturally didn't take it seriously. "Auntie, don't, Mr. Su. First of all, I'm a professional, you can rest assured. In addition, I do private customization, and the quality is absolutely guaranteed. Besides, this season is the most suitable for traveling to Austria. If you miss it, you have to wait another year," Liu Min persuaded with a look of regret. "It doesn't matter. In the future, we will have plenty of opportunities and time." Su Wei smiled faintly. "Oh, okay then, if you don't consider going abroad, I suggest going to Ximen City, where the scenery and landforms are very outstanding, and the local customs and culture are also very rich." "Auntie, look, this is my travel diary to Ximen City." Liu Min did not give up, and picked up the tablet and opened another set of photos. The dense tropical rainforest, various strange animals, and colorful food are fascinating to look at. Aunt Su was refreshed. "How is it, Mr. Su?" "I can guarantee that I will give the best service to Uncle and Aunt," Liu Min said while flipping through the photos. "Xiao, if Auntie likes it, let them go." Xiao Wei was also moved by those beautiful photos. "It's a pity that Ziwei can't leave now, otherwise she would like to go and relax." "Okay, then arrange it," Su Wei nodded. Thank you, Mr. Su." Liu Min was overjoyed, and even the symbol of $sign flashed in his eyes. Su Wei didn't care about this. As long as the quality was in place, he didn't mind spending a little more money. Seeing that it was time for dinner, Su Ma enthusiastically invited Liu Min to join them, and the latter readily agreed without hesitation, not considering herself an outsider at all. She soon became friends with Xiao Wei and the others, and even formed a women's group alliance headed by Su Ma. Chapter 149 Go and Refuel. While eating, Su Wei received a call from Hu Bin, saying that the small supermarket in his hometown had been sold to someone else, and he wanted to come to Huatou City to work with him. Su Wei naturally welcomed this and asked him to contact Jin Xiafeng and make the same arrangements. It happened that Li Xiaoman was on sick leave during this period, and Hu Bin's arrival could also share some of the workload. With the expansion of the base, material supply has become a major pressure, and procurement has naturally become a top priority. In the yard, Su Wei, who had hung up Hu Bin's phone, called Li Xiaoman again. "Hello." Li Xiaoman's somewhat hazy voice sounded on the phone. "Are you asleep?" Su Wei looked at the time. It was only a little after 9 o'clock, which seemed to be early. "Well, I went to bed early these 2 days because I had nothing to do. What's wrong? There was a rustling sound on the phone, and it was obvious that Lee Xiaoman was looking for a comfortable position in the quilt. Nothing, just asking how you are doing? Have you gone to the hospital for a follow-up check? Su Wei smiled slightly, and the lazy picture of the beauty appeared in his mind. Yes, I went to another private hospital and did a full set of health checks. Guess what the result was? Speaking of this, Lee Xiaoman woke up from her sleepiness. Of course I recovered, Su Wei replied with a smile. Is there any need to guess? Wasteland products must be top-notch. Huh? Boring. Lee Xiaoman couldn't help but act like a spoiled child. When she got the physical examination report, she was so excited. Unfortunately, Su Wei's phone was not accessible at that time. Now that the passion has finally rekindled, Su Wei took it for granted. Brother, is this cancer? Give me some unexpected surprises, okay? Wow. Really? Is it really all healed? My God. This must be a miracle that God couldn't bear to see such a beautiful you fall, so he deliberately sent down. Su Wei quickly pretended to be extremely surprised. Haha, it's your fault, although I know you are pretending, I am still very happy in my heart. Alice, this girl has fallen into your hands in this life. Lee Xiaoman smiled immediately. By the way, how is Auntie's health? Su Wei hurriedly changed the subject. He couldn't let a woman hold on to one point, otherwise the consequences would be miserable. Yes, it's much better these 2 days. My waist is no longer sore, my legs are no longer painful, and I have the energy to go upstairs. My appetite is better, and I enjoy everything I eat. As expected, Lee Xiaoman's attention was immediately diverted. Talking about her mother's recovery, she was happier than her own recovery. Seeing her mother's smile increasing day by day, she felt extremely relieved. That's good, let Auntie take it for a month, and I guarantee that the medicine will cure the disease. By the way, did you tell Auntie about your recovery? What did you say? Su Wei nodded with satisfaction. Of course I told her, otherwise my mother would do something. As for what you said, I can only say that it was a misdiagnosis. I showed her the latest physical examination report and she believed it. It's just hard for Dr. Zhao. If I hadn't stopped her yesterday, my mother would have gone to the hospital to make a scene. Alice, Lee Xiaoman couldn't help but sigh. It doesn't matter. Just take care of Auntie for a while. She will forget about it after a long time. As for the hospital, why not donate some money anonymously to the Special Hardship Relief Fund and let Dr. Zhao supervise it? Su Wei suggested that this would help more people. Okay, let's do it. Lee Xiaoman also agreed readily. After all, she had to do something, otherwise she would feel uneasy. After chatting for a while, the two hung up the phone reluctantly. Stinky brother, which little lover are you chatting with? At this time, Xia Wei, with a blushing face, came over and sat down next to Su Wei. No, it's just that Secretary Li is sick, and I called to express my condolences. Su Wei couldn't hide it and said truthfully. Don't be embarrassed, I'm very open-minded. Even if you go to express your condolences directly, I have no objection. Xia Wei rolled her eyes at Su Wei. A woman who has drunk a little wine has a different charm. Xia Wei's toughness made Su Wei have no choice but to smile awkwardly. Brother, no matter how many women you have in the future, you are not allowed to abandon me. Xia Wei leaned on Su Wei's shoulder with hazy eyes, looking at the stars and the moon in the sky. The light of the bright moon will always cover the shining stars. She may be one of the stars, but she has no regrets. Love is so wonderful. When you fall in love with each other, you don't care about anything. Sister Wei, I swear no, don't swear. It's unlucky. Su Wei was about to swear when Xia Wei covered her mouth with her hand, looking at Su Wei's face obsessively, and said in a dreamy voice. I just hope time will stop here, until forever. 3 days later, Su Wei flew to Huchun with his family. Tonight is the final of Xian Leizian, and they agreed to cheer for He Shuang together. Su Wei also booked a hotel in Huchun, preparing to let everyone relax after the game. This is the first time that the Su family has taken action with all members. Qianlong has mobilized dozens of security personnel to accompany them, and the whole process will be under their control. But it is not a swarm of followers, but a control of the situation within the scope, which will not affect the freedom of movement of everyone. Huchun is one of the prosperous metropolises of Daxia. It is located at the estuary of 3 parallel rivers. Foreign trade is extremely developed, attracting businessmen from all over the world to gather here. creating a hutching that is drunken revelry every night. As soon as I got off the plane, the hotel's luxury business car team came to pick me up. Everyone went directly to the Haoding Hotel. The hotel is located at the estuary of the river. Looking from a high place, you can see the rushing river on one side and the vast sea on the other. People can't help but sigh at the magic of nature. Mr. He also rushed over from the Magic City, just matching with Mr. Su to enjoy the fun of the elderly. Mother Su took Father Su to take pictures. Young people naturally gathered with young people and went straight to the hotel's water park. Today, Xiaowei wore a purple bikini and a lavender sun-proof gauze long skirt, which looked particularly charming. During this period, under Su Wei's supervision, she has completed the 6th level of strengthening, and her physical strength alone has reached the silver level. After the optimization of the strengthening potion, Xiaowei's temperament and figure have undergone earth-shaking changes, showing the Supreme Queen style, killing all the queens in seconds. Even the Shangwen sisters couldn't help but feel a little ashamed. Naturally, Su Wei was fascinated. The Shangwen sisters wore a one-piece swimsuit, one black and one white, which can be called the black and white double evil, but they are especially cute, plus the bonus of twins, that is double happiness. It is a kind of enjoyment to watch. The two have practiced martial arts since childhood, and their figures are naturally beyond words, with devilish figures and children's faces. Su Jiao and Fang Kaioqiao are beautiful and youthful girls. One is quiet and introverted, and the other is enthusiastic and generous, which can be seen at a glance from the clothes. Fang Kaioqiao still chose the long-sleeved short swimsuit with the most fabric. Su Jiao likes split swimsuits decorated with many flowers, which looks particularly cute. It's a pity that he Shuang and the others have to prepare for the final in the evening, otherwise there would be another group of lovely girls, and it would not be an exaggeration to form a country of girls. Chapter 150, Blocking the Way. Kaioqiao, come on. Su Jiao ran towards the water slide with a smile on her face. It was exciting to think about sliding down a slope of more than 45 degrees from a height of nearly 10 meters. Jiao, let's go play something else. Fang Kaioqiao couldn't help but feel a little scared. Although she had been strengthened, her heart was still fragile. Kaioqiao, since you are here, play with me once. Su Jiao pulled her to the entrance of the slide without saying anything. Let's go. The two little beauties hugged each other and slid down, screaming all the way, which was very exciting. Splash. The two of them fell into the water like a heavy bomb, splashing a large area of water. Soon, two little heads emerged from the water, one with an excited face and eager to try, the other was pale and scared. Kaioqiao, have fun. Let's go again. No. If you want to go, you go. I can't slide anymore. Oh, then okay, let's go play the Devil's Windmill. Su Jiao looked at a super high building not far ahead and said excitedly. No. Fang Kaioqiao took a look and her face turned even paler. Okay then. What do you want to play? Su Jiao had to give up the idea of taking risks. Jiao, why don't you go and play? I'll wait for you downstairs, Fang Kaioqiao said a little embarrassedly. No, it's not fun to go alone. Otherwise, let's go find my brother and let him accompany you, so you don't have to be afraid. Su Jiao's eyes turned and she immediately came up with a plan. Because she found that as long as Su Wei was there, Fang Kaioqiao would be particularly brave. This Fang Kaioqiao blushed for no reason. Let's go. Su Jiao took the opportunity to persuade. Get out of the way. Don't block the way. At this time, a group of people came from behind. A fierce woman at the head of the line directly pushed away the passers-by who were walking slowly, and was extremely domineering. Su Jiao and Fang Kaioqiao subconsciously tried to move aside, but the fierce woman didn't want to wait for a moment, and with a fierce look on her face, she stretched out her hand and pushed the two little girls. HMPH, Su Jiao's temper would never be tolerated, and she pushed the other party directly. Ouch! The fierce woman, who weighed more than 100 kilograms, immediately fell on her buttocks. She rolled twice before stopping. The team was blocked and stopped. Asshole! 4 or 5 men who looked like bodyguards immediately surrounded Su Jiao and Fang Kaioqiao. Sister Tan, are you okay? A sissy with long hair ran up and helped the fierce woman up, with an anxious and angry face. Zhuangxun, come and see, Sister Tan was beaten, the sissy shouted loudly to the back. What's going on? A tall and charming young woman came up. She was wearing a fiery red bikini and a beige silk scarf tied around her waist. Sexy with a bit of wildness, it can most arouse a man's heart. Zhuangxun, Sister Tan was beaten. The sissy immediately ran to the woman and stomped her feet coquettishly. It gave people goosebumps. Zhuangxun, I just asked them to get out of the way, but they came up and pushed me unreasonably. I was caught off guard and fell down. Ouch, my waist. Sister Tan, who fell to the ground, immediately got up and pointed at Su Jiao and Fang Kaioqiao. The woman called Zhuangxun looked up at Su Jiao and Fang Kaioqiao opposite, and a look of jealousy flashed in her eyes. Because she found that the two women were outstanding in appearance, and she might not be able to compare with them even if she grew up 2 years later. Su Jiao's youthful beauty was radiant. Fang Kaioqiao's pitiful appearance made me feel pity. In particular, the skin of the two women was so delicate that she envied them very much, not to mention Fang Kaioqiao's dazzling white skin. With such a big scene, the crowds around immediately gathered to watch. Hey! Isn't that the internet celebrity Zhuangxun? Wow, she's really as beautiful as she is on the internet. I really want her autograph. The crowd immediately started to discuss. Seeing the admiring eyes of the crowd, the woman immediately raised her head and chest, like a proud little rooster. You too, apologize to my assistant immediately. Zhuangxun looked at Su Jiao and Fang Kaioqiao and said with a strong face. Why? She pushed me first, why should we apologize? Su Jiao was a little hot pepper, with her hands on her hips, showing no weakness. Jiao, Fang Kaioqiao on the side quickly grabbed Su Jiao. She knew Su Jiao's fighting power. Before the enhancement, most boys were not her opponents, and now she is even more terrible. Sorry, we were a little heavy-handed, I'm really sorry. If there are injuries, we can bear the medical expenses. After comforting Su Jiao, Fang Kaioqiao turned to Zhuangxun and others and said. Everyone couldn't help but look at this seemingly weak little girl differently. Huh? Is that all you need to say? Sorry, paying for medical expenses? What a joke. Zhuangxun is a big internet celebrity with millions of fans, hundreds of thousands every minute. How could you be interested in your little melons and 2 dates? The sissy interrupted Fang Kaioqiao with a look of contempt. Zhuangxun didn't say anything, but didn't stop him. Obviously, he acquiesced to the sissy's behavior. Then what do you want to do? Fang Kaioqiao's face changed slightly, but she still looked at the other party bravely. Kneel down and kowtow to apologize, the sissy immediately said arrogantly. Fang Kaioqiao was immediately furious and her eyes turned red. The fault was not theirs, but the other party actually made such an excessive request. The people watching around were immediately disappointed with this big internet celebrity. Such a request was too overbearing. However, there were still some dogs who didn't mind making trouble and cheered loudly. Hurry up and apologize to our queen Zhuangxun. Seeing someone clapping and cheering, Zhuangxun and others immediately showed a smug smile on their faces. Bah, are you dead? Or do you want me to kowtow to you? When it comes to quarrels, Su Jiao has never been afraid of anyone. Zhuangxun was very angry. Humph, whose naughty child is this? You come out to bite people before your hair grows out, no one disciplines you. Then I will teach you how to be a man on behalf of your parents. The sissy immediately jumped out and said to people. As he said that, he rolled up his sleeves and wanted to hit people. Stop! At this moment, a roar came from outside the crowd, and everyone quickly made way for a passage. A handsome young man walked in with 3 beautiful women. Especially the one wearing purple clothes, she was so beautiful that it was suffocating, like a queen high above. Zhuangxun on the opposite side was immediately jealous, and his peach blossom eyes glared at the purple-clothed woman hatefully. Brother, Su Jiao turned her head and jumped over with joy, grabbing the man's hand and shouting. Yes, the people who came were Su Wei and others who came to look for them. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.